I'm sure Emily won't be, that's for sure. Yeah, I hope that this is coming through okay. Gillingham here Saturday.
Yeah, that'll be a different test, won't it? Steve Evans, of course, and you were at Northampton on Saturday. It was quite a physical test, wasn't it, versus the Reading and the Spurs games we've seen, and I expect the same.
Yes, it really was, especially in the centre of midfield. Watson was taking it very seriously.
It's the kind of tempo I'm sure Ross Embleton will be pleased to have at this stage of the pre-season, though. I think we're only just over a week away from the first game. Of course, the O's travel to Forest Green, and he'll want the intensity levels put up a notch.
We're just testing. I don't know if anybody's dialed into the YouTube channel, wondering what on earth Matt and I are talking about, but we're just testing the levels at the moment, so that's why we're talking about the pre-season, which started, of course, with the visit of Reading, and then we had Spurs. Did either impress?
I think they were two different tests, to be honest with you, Dave. I think Spurs was certainly a much more enjoyable watch from an Orient perspective, from an attacking front. 6 goals, good to see Leanne Goal pop up with a couple. Reading a little bit more gentle, I think, being the first pre-season fixture the O's went into, but as I say, a different case at Northampton on Saturday, and I expect it'll be a different test tonight, a very strong, youthful West Ham side.
Yes, and it's been a while since we've played any sort of West Ham side, hasn't it?
It has, yep, and it just goes to show, doesn't it, pre-season friendlies, it's generally now for lower league teams a case of young sides coming down versus historically, when of course the O's would feature against first teams of the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham. I remember the O's playing Chelsea as well back in the day.
Okay. Yeah, top man. Cheers, thank you very much. Well, we got the lineups here, absolutely, which is good to see. Makes a change, doesn't it? Pardon? Do you want me to get a formation? Yes, please. That would be fantastic. So we're testing the sound levels here. If you have just joined us on the Orient YouTube channel, audio commentary tonight. We're just testing everything, including the levels. And for the first time in pre-season, we're using an ISDN box, so the audio commentary should be a little bit clearer than it was for the visit of Reading when we were using the iPhone, which actually wasn't too bad, I thought. There you go, technology has definitely improved, and the investment in a later version of the iPhone, it was, and I also suspect not having a crowd made it. Had to use the iPhone, the commentary wasn't quite as good. As you just joined us and you're wondering what on earth I'm waffling around about, this is just an audio test at the moment. The players are out on the pitch as you would expect at the moment, and West Ham United have 2 complete lineups, and we're expecting to see them all, and Leyton Orient almost the same. I don't think there's quite as many substitutes on the Orient bench, but I'll have to add them up. But it's, I'd imagine, another opportunity for some of the players who didn't have the full 90 minutes on Saturday to really get some minutes under their belt tonight, which is why you got the likes of Sam Ling out there together with Joby McAnuff. Joe Widdowson played against his former club on Saturday, so he's certainly getting his minutes under his belt. And Matt is here, and he's got how West Ham United are going to line up in terms of formation, Matt.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a 4-3-3 formation for the West Ham under 23s this evening. So it'll be interesting to see how the O's defensive line can deal with that. It looks as though there's a lot of attacking intent in there as well, talking to the media team. Again, Bernardo Rosa is probably the one to keep an eye on as well. Creative midfielder, Brazilian born as well. They always are, aren't they, Dave? You don't often get Brazilian fullbacks pop up these days. But a 4-3-3 formation, and they will line up with Nathan Traore in goal. It'll be Harrison Ashby at right back. The 2 centre halves will be Olatunji Akinola and Carlo Cardoso. Left back will be Emmanuel Longello. It's the trialist who's playing the centre midfield holding role. And then, as you say, a 3-man attack with Rosa. I think he'll have licence to just float in between the forwards and the midfield line. Dan Kemp's going to play on the right-hand side. Mesak Jew will be on the left, and it's behind Shauna Darquar. So it's a 4-3-3 lineup for West Ham under-23s. And for the O's, I think probably the notable mention is Anthony Papadopoulos, who's on the starting lineup this afternoon. Or this evening, I should say. We saw him on the team sheet against Spurs, but he starts this evening.
Yeah, that's going to be a big night for him. I'm surprised that Joe Widdowson, I think he played, didn't he, on Saturday? I should remember that one, really, shouldn't I? But I'm sure he played against his former club. He had a loan spell there at Sixfield. I think he's the only player that's completed 90 minutes and is in the starting 11 today.
Yeah, I just wonder whether we're going to see him playing at centre-half this evening. Sam Ling will be at right back, I'm sure. James Brophy we expect to be at left back. And I just wonder whether Ross Embleton is just testing Joe Widdowson. It was something that was talked about over the last couple of games, the possibility of Joe Widdowson playing inside. Jamie Turley starts tonight, so I expect that will be the centre-half pairing.
Okay.
And then, of course, with Josh Wright.
We'll stop now then and start again in about 10 minutes. Lovely, thank you. Cheers, thanks, bye.
That's good news.
Cuts out Jordan Maguire-Drew. Steps over the ball, goes for goal, and he scores the goal! Jordan Maguire-Drew celebrates in front of the North Stand.
Now Josh Wright, can he get the cross in? He can, that's two.
From Pateta, Wilkinson's shot might drop here, does drop here for Josh Wright, who breaks the deadlock.
And goal across the face, oh, and in to win it. 96 minutes.
Yeah, all right, good to go.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to Orient Live here at the Bro Group Stadium with me, Ollie Buck, and I'm joined tonight for this West Ham Under-23 pre-season friendly by Archant London's Jacob Branson. Jacob, thank you for joining me this evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all's well and good. Can't be worse when or can't be better if I'm here at the Bro Group Stadium. Now, Jacob, you obviously cover the West Ham for Archant London and the Under-23 side. If you've seen this side before, what kind of game do you think we can expect from them tonight?
I think it will be a really competitive encounter. West Ham Under-23s were having a really good season before, obviously, the pandemic and everything else. They were sort of top of Premier League 2, Division 2, so they were doing really well. A reasonably strong team for them as well, so I think we'll see a good game. Obviously, if Orient can use their physicality, that should see them through, hopefully.
Obviously, they will have that little edge over the Under-23 side, but we had our third pre-season game against Northampton on Saturday. It was a narrow 1-0 loss to a side that recently won promotion out of this league. What did you take from that game? I mean, what positives, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think in pre-season, especially, you've got to take the positives and not worry about the results as much. It's the old manager cliche, I know, but created a lot of chances. I know in the post-match interview as well, Ross was talking about the set pieces they've been working on. You could see the work that's been done. Obviously, I'm sure they would have loved to have finished a couple of them off, but there was a lot of chances created, and I say Orient grew into the game, and against the League One side, that's a very positive performance. Of
course, and as we said, one that recently climbed up the league, so hopefully it's a good marker for where we can expect to start when we do kick into league action on the 12th of September. Now, ahead of tonight's game, we caught up with Ross at Embleton earlier at the training ground, so let's hide over and hear what he had to say.
So for sure, it was a very messy game. That when I've watched it back, I'm pleased with the way that we contributed elements to it. Of course, like there has been in the Tottenham and the Reading game, there's parts of the game that we want to get better at, and parts of the game that we're really pleased with. As I said at the weekend, disappointed with the goal and the fact that we didn't execute and finish a couple of our chances, but. Minor little details, and I think we could have potentially come out of the game with a better result. But right now, that's not the be all and end all. But at the same time, it's something that we want to continue to get better at.
And it was a really valuable test, and for a lot of the lads, 90 minutes, which is vital in terms of pre-season and development.
Certainly, yeah. It was always a plan to try and get most of the players 90 minutes. We looked after Ruel a little bit because we feel as though he's just probably not quite on the same level as everybody else yet. The great thing with that one was when we took him off, he felt like he could have gone on a little bit longer. So that means that we're managing him into a good place. Gave us an opportunity to look at Broth in a bit of a different position as well. So, yeah, on the whole, in terms of the way that we planned it and the way that it looked, we're pleased from a physical perspective.
And in terms of pre-season, there's been a theme with the rotation. Would we see similar on Wednesday? Do you expect the lads that didn't feature perhaps will get 90 minutes on Wednesday?
It depends really. We've got a couple of games obviously left and a couple of games remaining. We need to balance that out appropriately to make sure that we get all the minutes in that we want. So, not avoiding the question, but just don't know exactly how it's going to look at the minute. One or two little injuries that I think I've mentioned before, so we just need to make sure that it all sort of comes together and flows, and making exactly the plan now with another day's training in place would be a bit naive to sort of just chuck that out there now. So we'll have a look at that, how that looks tomorrow.
You mentioned injuries, and speaking of ones that, of course, we're aware of, is there any fresh ones having played the 90 minutes at the weekend?
No, not too many. The 90-minute boys all came through it very well. Both picked up a little bit of a tight quad. We always find that with someone like James, his pace, his speed is such a big part of his game. He came on higher up the pitch, chased a few balls down, quite explosive, and he was feeling a little bit of a quad. But other than that, we don't feel as though that should be too much of an issue for him. So we're, I wouldn't say happy because we've got people in the treatment room, but at the same time, there's nothing more to add to it.
Perfect, thank you.
Always great to hear from the boss, and we've now heard of the team news for this evening's game. We've got number 1 Sam Sargent in goal, with Jamie Turley and Joe Widdowson taking the centre-back positions. Sam Ling takes the right-back spot with Shadrach Oggy at left-back. And we've got the experience of Joby McAnuff and Josh Wright in there, but they're joined by someone making their very first start for Leyton Orient tonight, youngster Anthony Papadopoulos. Out on the wings we have Jordan Maguire-Drew and Ruel Sotiriou, and up top is number 39, Danny Johnson. Now, Jacob, what are your initial thoughts on that lineup tonight?
Yeah, it's a strong team. I'm especially really looking forward to seeing Ruel Sotiriou, Jordan Maguire-Drew and Danny Johnson, see how they link up. As I think all three were sort of in pretty good form when the season come to an end, and especially Ruel and Danny Johnson just started to find his feet, I think, at Orient, so it'll be interesting to see how they work together.
He's certainly a fox in the box, and hopefully we'll have some goals in this first half to talk about at half-time. Look forward to seeing you then, but now we head over to Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Big evening for him. He'll be desperate to impress, and good to see another scholar on the bench as well for the O's. Brian Ifeanyi, again, he'll be keen to get his opportunity. Two O's youngsters tonight in the first team, so we'll keep an eye on them, but Papadopoulos in particular, he will start this evening in midfield.
It'll be interesting to see how the defence lines up, won't it, Matt?
Yeah, we think Joe Widdowson is going to start at centre-half. When you look at the lineup, Sam Sargent is in goal. Sam Ling we expect to be at right-back. And Jamie Turley and Joe Widdowson we think will be the centre-half pairing, with James Brophy at left-back. Then it'll be Joby McAnuff, who skippers the O's, playing that holding midfield role. And then alongside him will be the aforementioned Papadopoulos, with Danny Johnson, Ruel Sotiriou, and Jordan Maguire-Drew playing that front line, which leaves Josh Wright, who I think will just play alongside Papadopoulos as the O's make their way out onto the pitch.
Fist bumping the officials tonight. I'm not too sure if we've got details as to who they are, have we, Matt?
They're not on the team sheet. They're normally local officials, aren't they? And certainly with the linesman who can see the flag, it's the same gentleman who featured for the Reading and the Spurs game, so a bit of familiarity there, but as I say, they do try and get local officials for friendlies such as this, obviously qualified, but yep, they look as though they're ready for the evening.
Barry Galvin is here, that's why you can hear Tijuana Taxi in the background, and Barry's going to join us at half-time for the latter.
Yeah, good to hear Tijuana Taxi, isn't it? And again, I think that's just another part of the match day continuity, trying to get the players prepared for what is going to be surreal. But this is the third game we've seen here now at Brisbane Road, and as I say, we're getting towards that final stages now. The important games just over a week away before the O's travel to Forest Green for the opening round of the Carabao Cup. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to that one already, Dave.
Well, it's interesting. We've got some people saying that they can hear us loud and clear, and others are asking us if we can turn it up a little bit. And we have, again, I don't want to get any distortions, but there's two ways of getting in touch. You can tweet at Dulcet Dave, or you can text on 07748 774 301. That is 07748 774 301. And the Hammers are out in the all sky blue kit with the two claret bands on the front of the shirts, and we've gone through their lineup, and we expect that they'll make a complete change at some point during the course of the evening.
Yeah, there is one change from the O's team sheet, Dave, which is James Brophy. Shadrach Oggy has come out onto the pitch, and it looks as though he is going to start at left back. So whether that's a mistake on the team sheet or whether there was a late knock perhaps to James and they didn't want to take any risks, we'll have to wait and see. We'll see if we can find out, but I can confirm Shadrach Oggy has come out and James Brophy hasn't, so he will go straight in at left back. And as predicted, it will be Joe Widdowson who's going to play at centre half with Jamie Turley alongside him, Sam Ling at right back. a midfield which consists of Papadopoulos, Josh Wright, Joby McAnuff, and then a three-man front line with Ruel Sotiriou down the left, Danny Johnson down the middle, and Jordan Maguire on the right.
Shadrach is 19 today, isn't it? Happy birthday to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday, I think. Matt Harold
Thank you, Matt. Finger on the pulse as always, Matt.
He probably remembered and asked him to bring in the cakes. That's probably why. But yeah, Shadrach, we wish him a belated birthday. Best wishes for him, 19 years of old, and an opportunity again tonight to impress.
Absolutely, and he is at left back with Turley and Widdowson in the centre of the Leyton Orient defence, and it's West Ham United that will get this game off and underway, attacking the goal away to our right, the Tommy Johnson end, the south end of the ground, and Leyton Orient in the all-red kit. Papadopoulos, big night for him, as the referee checks with his two assistants, and we're off and underway at the Breyer Group Stadium, and it's West Ham United that have possession wide on the left-hand side. Dan Kemp with the right foot cross into the penalty area, and the flag goes up. In fact, it was Dan Kemp that was straight offside. My apologies. Good ball from the far side.
Yeah, it was a bright start, wasn't it? West Ham immediately from the kick-off. It was a trialist who brought the ball forward, and I think it's a player we're going to keep an eye on tonight, because they rate him highly, and that's Bernardo Rosa, creative midfielder, and it was his through pass to Kemp, who tried to put the ball across the face of goal, but the flag went up early to the O's defence delight.
So it's a free kick to Leyton Orient. Sam Sargent in goal, and in the all-green kit, he delivers it long down the centre. Danny Johnson beaten in the air, and it's West Ham United that are coming forward. Delayan finds Kemp, and coming across is Jamie Turley to intercept, and the ball goes behind Sotiriou for a throw to the Hammers that will be taken in front of the Leyton Orient bench. On this near side, Harrison Ashby is the man who takes this one. It's back towards Ashby, stretching to keep the ball in play, and he didn't do so, did he?
Yeah, good pressure there. Danny Johnson and Ruel Sotiriou just closing the man down, and it was Ashby, as you say, just couldn't keep the ball inside, so it will be a throw into the O's just inside West Ham's half.
So it's, yeah, apparently the sound levels are great on the Isle of Wight, which is good to hear. I think that's Dave Boone that's... oh, sorry, it's Jason that's been in touch. My apologies, Jason. Not too sure where Jason is based, as the ball goes back to Sam Sargent, and he delivers it out towards this near side and towards Sotiriou. Sotiriou makes the tackle, and that will be a throw again to West Ham United, this time in front of the players' tunnel. Yeah, good for Ruel Sotiriou, get some extra minutes again tonight, important for him, and just to get that sharpness ahead of the season. The trialist moving forward, he finds Rosa, and Adamaka plays it to the byline, and it's Jamie Turley that comes across, and Turley puts it away. Took a deflection. It's a throw to Leyton. What about the West Ham United lineup then, Matt? Yeah, they line up. Looks as though it's a 4-3-3 formation with Nathan Trott in goal, Harrison Ashby at right back, the two centre halves, Olatunji Akinola and Giancarlo Cardoso. At left back is Emmanuel Langello. The trialist is playing the holding role. He's wearing the number 4 this evening. And ahead of him, you've got Bernardo Rosa. Dan Kemp is playing on the right. On the left is Messac Dejoux. And then it's Shauna Darquar playing up alongside Oladapo Adelaide. I think Adelaide just given that free roll. But certainly looks as though Darquar is playing further ahead of those two. So, yeah, they will rotate it, but looks as though it's a 4-3-3 formation for West Ham. We were saying that Oggy is a big lad for 19. Darquar, if anything, slightly bigger. Yeah, very strong, isn't he? Looks it from here, and already throwing his weight around. Jamie Turley, I mean, a bit of a wrestling match as the ball was played back into the penalty area with him, but for a very young player, 20 years of age, forward, scored 2 goals last season. He looks as though he could be another one to watch this evening. Absolutely. It's West Ham United that are pushing forward. Leyton Orient have possession on the edge of the penalty area, lay it out to this left-hand side. Oggy beaten on the tackle on that occasion. It's Joe Widdowson who tidies up, lays it back to Sam Sargent, who with the left foot delivers it towards Danny Johnson. Just got beaten by the bounce on that occasion. It's Oggy with a firm header towards Dan Johnson, and Joe Widdowson wins the header. It's West Ham United, though, that have possession with Dan Kemp in a central position, and it's a wayward pass that is kept in play on the far side by Angelo. In fact, he didn't keep it in play. It'll be a throw to Leyton Orient. Get in touch at Dulcet Dave. It's via Twitter, or you can text on 07748 774 301. Papadopoulos for Leyton Orient finds Oggy. Now it's Joe Widdowson inside the centre circle for the O's. He's got to be careful. He's under pressure, and I don't think he realised just how close Darquar was then, and it's a dark opportunity for West Ham as a result, and it's Dayu with the shot, and Leyton Orient's problems are their own making. We've played almost 5 minutes of this one, and West Ham United had the advantage.
He was punished, wasn't he, Joe Widdowson? It was a mistake from him. He just didn't realise that Darquar was closing him down. We spoke about Darquar throwing his weight around, and that was a perfect example because he closed down the space quickly on Joe Widdowson, and Joe Widdowson, he puts his hands up, he knows it's an error, but Darquar again just had the foresight to look to his left-hand side, and he saw Mosaic Deju running through, and Deju just got one touch out of his body and finished the ball superbly well. Sam Sargent with no chance. So it's West Ham who've taken the early lead here.
I've been impressed by West Ham.
Yeah, there's been a couple of players out there who've looked bright early on, haven't they? And it was a Darquar there again who capitalised on the error, and Deju as well with an excellent finish.
Joe Widdowson with the header into touch, and that will be a throw to the Hammers.
Yeah, there is good news, Dave. We mentioned at the start James Brophy was on the original team sheet for the starting 11, but it was a mistake on there. It was a mistake on the team sheet, so I can confirm there was no injury, no worries there with James Brophy's fitness, but that was simply a mistake on the team sheet. So Sadrak Oji has taken that position at left back, and he was always forecast to start there.
Should we assume that James Brophy's on the bench as a result, as the ball is intercepted by James Turley, comes out to Joby McAnuff. McAnuff losing out as West Ham United come forward on their left with Giroud. It's his goal that separates the two sides.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I asked Matt Harold. Fortunately, we've got him alongside us, and he said that James Brophy was always scheduled to be in the second team for this evening. So again, good news, and can reinforce and reaffirm there is no injury doubts whatsoever for James Brophy. It was purely a mistake on the team sheet.
He did impress when he came off the bench on Saturday at Northampton. Leyton Orient lost that one by a goal to nil, having already beaten Reading by 2 goals to nil here. That's Reading's under 23s, and then hitting Tottenham's under 23s for 6. It's West Ham that had the advantage early doors here at the Brea Group Stadium, where Will Saturio wide on the left-hand side, has possession for Leyton Orient. Papadopoulos lays the ball back towards Jamie Turley. Sam Ling tidies up and lays it back to Sam Sargent. What do you make of the opening 7 minutes of this one, Matt?
Well, it's been a fast tempo. It's been up and at 'em. And I have to say the West Ham youngsters have impressed from what we've seen so far as Danny Johnson chases a lost cause. But they look as though they're going to be a much sterner test than Spurs.
They're physically much stronger than both Reading and Tottenham, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think we mentioned at the start, when you look to the age group of that Spurs team, they were very young. There was a lot of teenagers involved. That's not the case this evening. There's a lot of 20, 21-year-olds in this West Ham team. So they've had an extra year. They've been out, and as you mentioned, a couple of players have been out on loan in the lower league. So they've certainly got the know-how.
Papadopoulos lays the ball back to Joe Widdowson on the halfway line. Inside the centre circle is Jamie Turley, and Turley has got Sam Ling to his right. Comes back to Turley. First time ball from Turley. Gives something for Josh Wright and Dan Johnson to chase, but it's the goalkeeper, Nathan Tor, who gets there first.
He done well, didn't he, in the end? I thought he was going to carry the ball outside the 18-yard box because his momentum was there, and again it was Danny Johnson who was closing down the space, working hard, but in the end he done incredibly well, Nathan Trott, in the West Ham goal.
There's a number of these West Ham United players that have played in the league, and the goalkeeper was at Wimbledon.
He was, and you talk about playing in the league. It's Nathan Trott. There's a spelling mistake on that team sheet, okay. David, he's Trott, but he's had international experience. You talk about lower league experience. He's played in the England under-20s, so Bermuda born, but international capped already, and again just shows the credentials this young West Ham team have.
Well, spoke too soon there. There was a mistake, a slice from Cardoso, and that will be the first quarter of the game. It goes to Leyton Orient with almost 9 minutes gone.
Yeah, first error they've made, really, wasn't it? It was almost a half-hearted ball down the channel, but again, Danny Johnson working hard, chasing down the lost cause, forced the defender into making the error.
And it's Jordan Maguire-Drew who's going to take this corner kick. Sets pieces were impressive at Sixfield on Saturday, and Jordan Maguire-Drew will use the left foot to deliver this ball towards the far post, aimed towards Jamie Turley, finds Jamie Turley, and his header causes a few difficulties, and eventually West Ham United hack it away, intercepted by Sam Ling, and Jordan Maguire-Drew's got plenty of space on the right, whips in across, gathered well by Tor.
It was a decent delivery as well. Again, the goalkeeper though, very commanding, came out early call. Good catch, very clean handling from him, but that was better from the O's.
And we've had a tweet that has come through.
Yeah, we have. It's from Richard J. Bourne. Good evening to him. He's making the point, happy to see errors in pre-season, ahead of the league campaign where it all counts. But I think Joe Widdowson will be disappointed. He knew straight away, didn't he? Put his hands up, apologies to his teammates, and he just got caught on the ball in a dangerous area.
He did. Adoran moving forward down the centre, and Joe Widdowson catching his man then.
Yeah, I think it might have actually been Joby McAnuff who made the trip, but it was a good positive run by Adelaide, and again very powerful coming forward. Again, the youngsters of West Ham, and again it was a positive run, and Joby just got caught in the wrong position. Forced a foul, and it's in a decent position.
Dan Kemp played against Leyton Orient when he was on loan at Stevenage last season. I think he's going to take this one, isn't he?
Yeah, he was pretty quiet that afternoon, wasn't he? But down at the Lamex, but he's got an opportunity here. The left foot, he placed the ball immediately, so he's clearly interested in this one. 5
in the Leyton Orient wall, which is about a yard inside the O's penalty area. It's in a very central position. Dan Kemp steps up, and that's a good goal.
That's an excellent strike, Dave.
It's a superb free kick, and West Ham United have doubled the advantage with only 11 minutes gone.
Yeah, it was interesting. He looked at the wall there, Sam Sargent. I think it was a 5-man wall, but you can't take anything away from the strike from Kemp. He got it up and over, and again, he just clipped the inside of the post. Full credit to him. Excellent set piece. And the O's are finding this one a tad tougher than we've seen in recent weeks.
Yeah, really to open up the West Ham United defence, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it in two ways. I think it's better to have this challenge now because, again, it is a test out there from what we've seen at the moment. They're certainly matching the O's and maybe more. 2 goals to the advantage. Excellent strike from Dan Kemp and an error from Joe Widdowson, which was punished. But when you look at the movement, the tempo, the pace of the game, it certainly feels as though it's stepped up a notch from an intensity level.
We've had a few texts come through on 07748 774 301. We'll look at those in just a moment. We'll stay with the action because Leyton Orient have a throw, which Oggy takes, and he finds Wolsaturio wide on the left-hand side, down by the corner flag. He tried to force the corner, but West Ham United were able to get it away, and it's Jamie Turley who slides in to make an important tackle. Let's catch up with those texts.
Yeah, plenty of questions and comments coming in. First one from Len from Leyton, asking about young Papadopoulos, asking if he's a youth player. Yes, he is. He's a first-year scholar, centre midfielder, and he's done okay, started okay in this one. Looks like a confident young man, just needs to get a foothold in the game, but very big evening for him. Hope he does well. And Jason making the point around Marvin Ekpiteta left the club, asking the question whether there'll be a central defender brought in. I think Martin Ling was asked that question on the club's Q&A, wasn't he, a couple of nights ago?
If you haven't seen it, I would strongly recommend it. The communication of the club has been absolutely outstanding and very open as the ball is delivered down the centre. Joe Widdowson's underneath that one, and it's West Ham United that have possession with the trialist in a central position. Then Camp to Danny Camp to his right. The trialist lays it back into the West Ham United half. Lakinda lays it all the way back to the goalkeeper Trot. More text.
Yeah, just one coming through from Colin and Silver, enjoying a nice bottle of Plonk, but not enjoying the score at the moment, with West Ham leading by 2-0. And yeah, as I say, plenty of questions coming through.
Last season, West Ham United had 14 wins, 4 draws, and they averaged 3 goals a game scoring.
Yeah, and I say, I've been really impressed from what I've seen so far. In particular, it's the number 9, Shauna Darquar. He's causing problems for both Jamie Turley and Joe Widdowson. And if you look at his positional sense now, he's just playing off that shoulder, and they're looking for the ball in behind because he's got pace as well. And I can see that young man scoring a lot of goals if he was to get an opportunity in the lower leagues, because he's got the physique, he can handle the physicality, but he's also got some pace about him, and in looking at his runs, he looks a very intelligent player.
And he compliments Giroud, the score of the first goal.
Yeah, exactly. They're working hard for each other, aren't they, this young team at the moment? You look, players on the ball, lots of teammates making themselves available. Again, Darquar there making the run. And Orient are just struggling to get a foothold on the game at the moment. It's West Ham who are commanding the possession.
Kemp takes a quick throw. Joe Widdowson comes across, and that's going to be a goal kick to Leyton Orient. Almost 15 gone on this one, and it's West Ham United who got a 2-goal advantage.
Yep, it's a test for the O's at the moment, not only because of the scoreline, but also from an intensity perspective, because you look at that midfield, Papadopoulos, Wright and McAnuff just not being able to settle so far, and West Ham just look as though they've got that extra gear about them.
It's going to be Sam Sargent to take this goal kick for the O's. And the ball is lofted long towards Dan Johnson. He got pushed in the back, but the referee has given the decision West Ham's way. Yeah,
it looked as though it was a 50-50 call, but it has gone the way of the visitors. Dan Johnson just backing in, I think, and in the end it was the centre half, Gonzalo Cardoso, went to ground. The referee blew his whistle, and it'll be a free kick for West Ham just inside their own half.
It's a bit of know-how about the Hammers, and that was shown in that instant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it goes back to the point I was making versus comparison against Spurs. That they had a lot of young teenagers, 17, 18-year-olds. A lot of these lads are 20, 21, so they've been out, they've played men's football, and I think that's shown in this one for me for the early stages. It just seems as though they've got a little bit more nous about them.
And they know each other very well, and that's demonstrated by the quality of some of the passes. But it's Leyton Orient threading the passes together now and find Rusaturio inside the West Ham United penalty area, but not for long. The Hammer's clear, and the ball has gone away for a throw to Leyton Orient.
Yeah, again, Rusaturio just overran the ball initially, again, but Ashby, the fullback, was on him in a flash. Couldn't keep the ball in place. It will be a throw for the O's.
Now, he's a Scottish under-19 international, is Ashby. Rusaturio on the left-hand side finds Papadopoulos, and it's a throw again to Leyton Orient.
Yeah, again, you look along the line-up and the background of some of these players. There's international cap players, there's Portuguese, there's a Brazilian in there as well. It just shows how far some of these Premier League clubs can stretch the net now in terms of trying to find future talent.
So Joby McAnuff that wins the free kick. Has a little word with Oggy about the position that the youngster was taken up on that occasion. And Joby McAnuff is so important, so influential to the development of young players like Oggy.
Yeah, he will be. It's where you look at Joby to kind of work with young Papadopoulos this evening as well, to just help him through the game. Big night for the young man, first-year scholar, but with McAnuff alongside him.
Oggy's free kick, looking for Jamie Turley. His shirt was being pulled, and it's the Hammers who clear the ball away, and it bounces for Giroud. He plays it inside, and Joby McAnuff intercepts, and the pass comes out to Sam Ling. He plays it out to this near side. Rusaturio turns and pushes his man in the process.
They look very sharp, don't they, this young team? And they say they're 50-50 ball, but it was always going to be Ashby to get there ahead of Sotirio. Young Wirral just seems at the moment for me possibly not at the intensity level I think Ross Embleton had hoped for. Maybe it's that week's difference of training, but as I say, it looks as though Sotirio is still trying to get through the gears to get up to full speed.
So West Ham United coming forward again into the Leyton Orient penalty area, and using his feet is Sam Sargent, but it comes back again to the Hammers, and this time a shot from the trialist spins away for Sam Sargent.
Yeah, I thought he looked as though he was offside there when the trialist picked up the ball, but you have to say it was an excellent piece of work. Again, the delivery, trying to get in behind that O's backline, and it was an excellent run from Darquar again, but Sam Sargent did his job, stood big and came up with an important save.
The trialist plays it square for the Hammers, who are having far more of the possession at the moment with 18 minutes gone. It's out on their right with Ashby. He gives something for Dan Kemp, who gets in across, and it's off the chest of Sam Ling into the arms of Sam Sargent.
He done well there, Sam Ling. Very calm and cool, wasn't he? Particularly with Oju coming round the back, but Sam Ling knew his positional awareness, chested the ball back into the arms of Sam Sargent very calmly.
A few more people out on the balconies on what is a warm evening here in E10.
Yep, there is, and you can see Louis Dennis walking behind us as well. Unfortunately for him, it sounds like he's picked up a knock, might be missing him for the next 10 to 14 days. We'll wait and see, but we wish him a speedy recovery.
Sam Ling's cross is blocked, and it'll be a throw to the O's, and one that Sam Ling is going to take. And of course, he can get distance on the throws. Josh White has gone forward, making himself available is Dan Johnson. It's a short throw that comes out to Josh White, lays it back to Sam Ling, gets in the cross, and it's a glancing header from Turio. It goes out towards this near side. It's West Ham United that are able to clear. Turio trying to make the tackle, but it's the Hammers that are coming forward now with Adelan. And he plays it out to the right-hand side, and Darquar who takes on Oggy. Now it's with Dan Kemp, who finds a right Darquar with a little bit of space. He's got support from the trialist, and the trialist with the dink ball into the Leyton Orient penalty area. Flag stays down, although it looks as if Dan Kemp was offside.
Yeah, he was, but he held his run because he knew he was in an offside position, which in the end forced Shadrach Oggy into making a challenge, because again, once you saw Duju, he knew he wasn't going to get on the end of it, but he didn't give up on the cause. And again, they're working very hard for each other, these West Ham players at the moment, and they're making life very difficult for the O's.
Duju is a former Benfica international, isn't it? Youth player, rather.
Yeah, he started there, 21 years of age, forward, but you're absolutely right, Dave, started at Benfica, and again now at West Ham, hoping he can make a mark on the Premier League, but I say he's been one of many so far this evening who's impressed.
Dan Johnson gets in across, takes the deflection, but Trott was able to get there, and the Hammers goalkeeper in an all-orange kit tonight rolls the ball towards the edge of the West Ham United penalty area, and the Hammers look up, and the ball is played out to the right-hand side. Dan Kemp losing out to Oggy on this occasion, but the ball has gone away for a throw to the visitors, and it will be taken in front of the West Ham United bench.
Yeah. I think at the moment, when you look at the O's midfield, Papadopoulos, McAnuff and Josh Wright, they're struggling to get a foothold in the game because West Ham are moving the ball ever so quickly. The pace of the game at the moment is just escaping the O's midfield.
The ball is back with Dinkler, and he finds Trott. The ball is hit forward, and Widdowson on the wrong side of that one, and a shot from Darquar wasn't too far away from the near post.
Yeah, it looked as though he was in an offside position, but again, he didn't give up on it, did he? And the ball in behind Joe Widdowson, and again, Darquar, you say, chased it down. Probably took the wrong decision there. First time this evening, Darquar, he went for the near post, possibly should have gone low and hard across goal, but it wasn't too far away.
Real power on the shot, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. I say he's impressed the most, I think, this evening from what we've seen so far. Be interesting to see the changes at half-time Ross Embleton makes. So I think we're going to see 2:45s this evening.
It's Oggy who lays it back to Sam Sargent. Barry Galvin's going to be joining us at half-time, as the ball is inside the centre circle for not for long, because it's the Hammers coming forward, this time on the far side. Sam Ling intercepts well, and it's a handball. It's given against the trialist, and it's a free kick to Leyton Orient as a result.
Yeah, the foot was high, wasn't it? But it was contact with the hand, which is why the referee has blown the whistle, and I think we're going to have a drinks break here.
Yeah. So that happens with about 22 minutes gone. What do you make of it?
Of the drinks break or the game?
Break or the...
Well, the 2 point, I'm not too sure. I'm convinced by the drinks break, Dave, because my understanding is that's not going to take place a week from today. When the season starts, I think it goes back to normality. So that's my understanding. So
is that the case in the Premier League as well?
I believe so, really? Because I think it was voted upon by the clubs that they didn't want it. So if that has filtered down to the Football League...
I'm assuming this is something that's been agreed by both clubs.
I'm sure it is, and I'm sure the coaching staff won't be complaining at all, particularly Ross Embleton and Danny Sender, because they'll want to be putting some messages out there how the O's can find a way back into this one. But yeah, for me it seems a strange. I'm not sure we're going to get that when the campaign starts, so why would you want to have a break now for a couple of minutes, 23 minutes in?
It was interesting, though, when you looked at the games that were played after the restart, particularly in the Championship and the Premier League, that sometimes momentum was lost when there was a drink break, so this could help Leyton Orient.
You're absolutely absolutely right. And when you look at the amount of goals that were conceded shortly after, you wonder, is that a case of concentration level slipping? Perhaps teams taking their foot off the gas, as you alluded to. We'll wait and see. But I think at the moment there'll certainly be no complaints, and Danny Sender certainly looks very active down there. Don't think we've really seen Ross Embleton in that dugout this evening. Danny Sender and Dean Brill very active down there, and it's Danny Sender right now who's, as I say, barking out the instructions to Joby McAnuff.
It's a bit of discussion as well between Joby McAnuff and Danny Sender. And the game will resume with a free kick to Leyton Orient.
Yeah, he looked a tad frustrated, didn't he, Danny Sender there? But I think he's possibly seeing the same game we are up here. And at the moment, the O's midfielder just getting overrun, I think, in terms of energy and possession. So if he's seen that, he's identified it, he'll be looking for Joby McAnuff to lead. And we know he's a born leader. And see if we can put a stop to that and find a way back into the game.
And the discussion will be taking place because Joby McAnuff, you know, he had a successful period as a coach last year. And again, it was interesting to hear Nigel Travis and others, not least Martin Ling in the Q&A, talking about the role that Joby McAnuff will have this season. It was an unfortunate free kick from Sam Ling, and it's a goal kick to West Ham United as a result, with 25 minutes gone.
Yeah, he was just trying to play the ball down the channel to Jordan Maguire-Drew, wasn't he? But the pass was overhit, the run was a tad late, and in the end it went out for a goal kick, which I think Ross Embleton would be a bit disappointed for, because Oggy, Turley and Widdowson had all come up for a set piece. I think they were expecting the ball to be delivered into the box. It's
West Ham United that are coming forward, and it's a good tackle by Maguire-Drew, and he finds Rossiturio inside the penalty on the left-hand side. First time cross, didn't pick out a red shirt. But full credit to Maguire-Drew. Did well, didn't he, to bring it under control and to bring it forward for Leyton Orient as Oggy sees the ball spin away for a throw to the O's.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rossiturio, I think the final delivery there just let him down. Good to see Josh Wright, Maguire-Drew and Danny Johnson making a lung-busting run to get in the penalty box, but in the end they couldn't find the end of Sotirio's cross.
Turley finds Josh Wright, and Wright plays it out to the far side. And Maguire-Drew, he lays it back to Jamie Turley. West Ham United not giving Leyton Orient any time at all on the ball, are they? As the ball goes away for a throw to the hands.
And it just shows there, doesn't it? Jamie Turley rushed into a pass, and in the end it finds its way into the dugout in front of the Justin Edinburgh stand, but it was because he was rushed. Again, the tempo, the pressure, the press from West Ham forced him into making a pass he didn't want to make, and in the end he rushed it, and it went into touch.
Ashby to Kemp. Kemp lays it back and almost letting Dan Johnson, but it's been intercepted by Akinola. And it's with the trialist inside the centre circle, moving forward for West Ham United. Options to his left and to his right. It goes out to the left flank. Leyton Orient getting players back behind the ball. One of them was Joby McAnuff, and he puts it away for a throw. One that will be taken on the far side by Angelo.
The youth team in action tonight in the stands as acting as ball boys, and fortunately whoever's on that far side has got to go right up to the top of the east stand, because that's where the ball has ended up.
Angelo played last night in the game against Wycombe Wanderers, which West Ham's first team won. As the ball goes towards the edge of the Leyton Orient penalty area. In the box is Joe Widdowson. He makes the tackle, and it's West. Oh, I thought it was going to be a corner, but it's a goal kick. West Ham certainly thought it was a corner.
Well, I'm with you, Dave. I thought it was too, but we won't complain. Sam Sargent can restart the game from a goal kick.
The referee was much closer to it than the assistant, but he seemed to go with what the assistant said.
Yeah, strange decision in the end, but
not complaining. It's
absolutely.
Turley who offers it long towards Dan Johnson. Johnson chasing, and that's gone away for a throw to West Ham United. Be taken in line with the 6-yard box in front of the east stand on the far side. It's Kitchen Court with the 4 blocks of flats in each corner of the ground here in E10. West Ham United take the throw. But since the drinks break, West Ham United, they've been forced back a little bit more by the O's, haven't they?
Yeah, I think one of the positives at the moment is Danny Johnson continues to work hard up there, doesn't he? He's trying to, again, force the West Ham defenders into making errors, again closing down the space. But he probably just needs a bit more support up there.
Oggy rose very high indeed, came off the top of his head, and it'll be a throw to West Ham United, midway inside the O's half, in front of the Justin Edinburgh stand. And Harrison Ashby is the man who's taken his time over this one. If anything, the pace of the game has dropped a little bit since the break, as Ashby lays it back to Cardoso. Cardoso takes it out to the left flank, still inside the West Ham United half, now with Giroud, and Giroud plays it square to Akano. He's taking it towards the halfway line, and the pass finds Ashby on the right-hand side. He looks for Kemp. Kemp gets to the byline, can't keep the ball in play, goes into the side netting. Goal kick to Leyton Orient. Almost half an hour gone.
Yeah, excellent vision from the fullback, wasn't it? Ashby just saw that ball round the corner. In the end, Kemp again made the run and peeled off, just got away from Shadrach Oggy and just couldn't keep the ball in play. But it was good build-up play again from the visitors.
So it's a goal kick for the O's, one that Sam Sargent takes. All going towards Maguire-Drew. He's had a fall short of Dan Johnson. Josh White wins the tackle, finds Oggy inside the centre circle. Oggy gets past the first man, and then the pass went astray, but that's probably because his heels got clipped then. It's a free kick to Leyton Orient.
Yeah, it was Adelaide, and just, tripped Oggy as he was driving the ball forward. He released it into the path of Maguire-Drew. I'm not sure he was getting on the end of it, but the referee waited to see if there was an advantage. It wasn't coming, so he's pulled the ball back. And
he's done well, hasn't he, this referee?
Yeah, I think he's let the game flow, which is exactly what you want pre-season. You don't want it stop-start, but yeah, he's letting the game flow. And to be fair, the tempo, the pressing from both teams since the break has been maintained. And you just feel it might be getting a foothold back into this, perhaps.
There's not been a bad tackle, and you couldn't have said that on Saturday, that's for sure. It's going to be a free kick to the O's, and one that is taken by Joby McAnuff. And it's gone away for another corner to Leyton Orient, a third of the game.
Yeah, interesting to see where this goes. We've mentioned throughout pre-season thus far, a lot of these corners the O's get tend to go towards the back post, something that they've clearly worked on. We'll see if there's a change here. Jamie Turley is up for it, and keep your eye on Papadopoulos, who's unmarked at the edge of the penalty area.
Maguire-Drew then with the left-footed corner kick. Plenty of players at the near post for Leyton Orient. Maguire-Drew delivers this one towards the far post. Trot comes, doesn't make it. Papadopoulos back to goal. Turns, does ever so well. Surrounded by two West Ham United players. He's looking for support. He's kept his composure and he's done well to win the throw. That was impressive.
Yeah, he worked hard there, didn't he, the youngster? Again, chasing the ball down, winning possession. He took it towards the corner flag. He didn't have many options going for him, and three West Ham defenders closing him down, but in the end he won a throw for the O's in line with the 18-yard box.
Oggy's the man who's going to take the throw. Comes out to Dan Johnson, pulls it back ever so well towards the far side. Josh White on the edge of the penalty area, looks up, cross takes a deflection, deflected into the arms of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I thought we was going to see a collector's item there, Dave, with Jordan Maguire-Drew header, because Danny Johnson did exceptionally well, hooked the ball towards the back post. Maguire-Drew was rushing in, but just couldn't get his head to the ball.
Papadopoulos intercepts, finds Maguire-Drew, shot is deflected away, but yet another corner to Leyton Orient.
Yeah, will this one go to the back post as well? The last one did. We mentioned that. It was Josh Wright who was on the end of the last one. Maguire-Drew's going to wander over to take this one. Again, a left-footed in-swinger, I suspect.
Turley and Widdowson have taken up a position on the edge of the 6-yard box. Inside the box is Soterio and Dan Johnson together with Josh White. It's a corner kick which is played short to Joby McAnuff. McAnuff force another corner to Leyton Orient. That's the fifth.
It is, yep. And again, it will be Maguire-Drew. On that occasion, they tried to work it short. McAnuff making the run, but Dan Kemp did well, stuck to his job.
Maguire-Drew then with so many players training at this time at the far post, and they've now gone to the near post. The corner goes to the far post, finds Jamie Turley. Soterio's shot is blocked at point blank range, and it's cleared up into the air from Lalonjo out towards the far side, and it's Maguire-Drew who loses out to Drew, and that will be a throw as the ball comes off the former Dagenham Redbridge man. It's a throw to West Ham United to be taken in line with their own penalty area.
Yeah, he just didn't hit it cleanly, did he, Will Soterio? He swung the left foot at it, so the contact wasn't great. In the end, it was blocked, but It was a half chance for young Soterio.
Samling scoops it up into the air, but it just runs away from George Maguire-Drew, and it is a throw to the visitors.
Yeah, we've had a text through from Jack Bernstein, who's asking the question about Joe Widdowson's position tonight. He's playing as a centre-half alongside Jamie Turley.
Samling with a forward position. To his right is Josh White, comes back again to Samling, who finds Joby McAnuff. McAnuff picks up Oggy. Oggy's in a central position here, inside the West Ham United half, and he's given the ball away, and it's the Hammers that have an opportunity to come forward. The flag goes up. There wasn't much in it, was there? But it was Giroud who got caught offside as the ball goes into the back of the Leyton Orient net.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was very tight indeed, wasn't it? I think it was the right call, but it was marginal, and in the end you have to say it was an excellent finish from Giroud, because he didn't know the flag had gone up and he finished it in the bottom right hand corner, but fortunately for the O's, the flag did go up and it was offside. So
it remains Leyton Orient 0, West Ham United 2. It was Joe Widdowson slip that's Leyton Darquar, and it's Giroud who put West Ham United into an early advantage, and that was doubled through Dan Kemp's free kick in the 12th minute. West Ham United ahead by 2-0 with almost 35 minutes of this one gone, and it goes into the arms of Sam Sargent.
Yep, we're just seeing a little bit more possession now, aren't they? But again, still finding life tough in the middle, as McAnuff again is closed down ever so quickly by Kemp. This West Ham team just don't let you have time on the ball.
No, it's a free kick to Leyton Orient, and one that Jamie Turley is going to take. There's not a lot of movement ahead of him, which I think is the point that he's trying to make. Taking his time over this set piece. And, looks up, he lays it out to the left-hand side, and Oggy's header comes out towards Soterio. Soterio is beaten in the tackle on that occasion by Adelayan, and that will be a throw to the O's taken by Oggy. Comes out to Papadopoulos. Joe Widdowson on the halfway line, losing out to the trialists, and he gives something for Dan Kemp to chase on the right-hand side, taking on Joe Widdowson. Kemp, it's on his left foot now, it's on his right, he's inside the penalty area. It's a decent cross, and it's an own goal from Samling.
Oh, that's an excellent delivery right across the face of goal. Samling with an own goal, just totally miscued the attempted clearance with the right foot and sliced it into his own net. But you have to say it was an excellent, well-worked move once again, and it all started from the tempo of West Ham pressing Orient, getting possession, and then the quick ball from the trialist down to Kemp on the right-hand side, who put in an absolutely delicious cross right across the face of goal. Samling has turned it in. Embarrassing moment for him, but 3-0. And I think you have to say, Dave, the scoreline at the moment is probably about right, because West Ham have dominated this first half.
They have, and they've played the game in a really quick tempo. And it's now with Jamie Turley. Turley looks for Soterio wide on the left-hand side. The ball has been headed in to touch. It's a throw to Leyton Orient. And it's one of the youngsters who picks up possession, but there's a ball for Oggy, who's able to take this throw, lays it back to Joe Widdowson, who finds Jamie Turley, and Turley in turn picks out Samling. Back again to Turley. Turley trying to pick out Maguire-Drew on the right-hand side. Long Alero makes the tackle, and he loses possession to Joby McAnuff. Soterio on the left-hand side. Oggy making the overlapping run. Soterio cuts inside, lays it back to McAnuff, who finds Oggy. Now 19 years of age, of course. And, Oggy looking for some movement. There's none ahead of him, and the pass goes away from Joe Widdowson, who worked hard to cause problems for Papadopoulos rather, and it's a throw to Leyton Orient as a result, midway inside the Leyton Orient half. Yeah, Darquar again putting the pressure on Joe Widdowson, wasn't he? I don't think he wanted the ball played back to him in that particular area, because it dragged him out to the touchline, and Darquar again looked as though he got there first initially. Joe Widdowson recovered, but the moment, as I say, West Ham now just approaching the half-time whistle. Again, still dominating the possession. Picking up finds Dan Kemp, and Kemp in turn picking out Harrison Ashby. It's into the Leyton Orient penalty area once more. Joe Widdowson does well to see the ball go away for a goal kick to Leyton Orient. That third goal, as you say, you know, the scoreline by no means flatters West Ham United, but you know, it's hard on the O's because since the drink break, Leyton Orient have had more of the possession, haven't they?
Well, I think they've come back into it. I still think West Ham have looked very impressive in this spell. But
Josh White finds Papadopoulos on the halfway line. Again, it's a good tackle by Dan Kemp. Quick feet as he turns. It's the ball away from Joby McAnuff, and it's the Hammers coming forward with real purpose with Giroud. It's into the Leyton Orient penalty area in a strong shot from Londello, and it's being pushed away by Sam Sargent for West Ham United's first corner of the evening, isn't it?
Yeah, again, they spread the play ever so well there, didn't they? Dan Kemp again with a cutting pass. It's the full back this time. Longello making that lung-bursting run, and it was a good shot. It was an equally good save from Sam Sargent to keep it at 3-0.
Dan Kemp has looked very sharp, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has really impressed. One of many,
it's
I have to say.
It's a short corner from Kemp, and he gets a return ball on the edge of the Leyton Orient penalty area. He's played a little 1-2 with the trialist, and that time it was a little overhit from the mystery man, and it's a goal kick to Leyton Orient.
Yeah, he just tried to overplay there, the trialist, but again, he's another one. I haven't got a name as per the team sheet, but he's been impressive. A Darquar as well, leading that line ever so well, being strong and really caused problems for Widdowson and Jamie Turley. But so be interesting to see the changes at half-time. We think there'll be 2 45s, and we'll see what the second half brings for the O's.
Soturio's header comes out to Dan Johnson, and it's Papadopoulos. I've been impressed with him. Finds Josh White, who loses possession on this occasion. It's the Hammers that are coming forward, and Oggy gets back, makes a very important tackle on Adelayan.
Yeah, he done well there, Shadrach Oggy. He had to get a touch there, and he was vitally important. He got there first, he did so, but that touch, I think, has taken the ball out, and it will be a corner to the visitors, but it could have been worse, because once again, Adelayan really testing that O's back line with the run in behind. And full credit to Shadrach Oggy on that occasion, who made an important challenge.
The incident happened right in front of the assistant referee. He didn't want to make a decision. The referee did, and he's given the advantage to the attacking team. And it's a corner kick to West Ham United. One that is fired in by Dan Kemp. It really was hit with some venom, wasn't it?
Absolutely. What a delivery right across the 6-yard box. But again, one of those where as a defender, if you're back to goal, the slightest touch, it could find its way back into your own net, and fortunately for the O's, it did go right across the face of goal, and Uju at the back post just couldn't get the studs on the end of it.
Widdowson to Soturio, and he got beaten on that occasion by Rosa, lays it into the Leyton Orient penalty area. Widdowson finds Sam Sargent. Sargent plays it forward towards Dan Johnson. Good defending by the young Hammers. As Kemp's shirt is pulled back, but Dan Kemp keeps possession for West Ham United. The ball is out on the right-hand side with Adelayan. And he switches it from right to left. Leyton Orient trying to get players back behind the ball as it's played into the O's penalty area. This time Joe Widdowson tries to intercept. Sam Ling got caught then by Longello's, and his shot forces a good save by Sam Sargent at the near post.
Yeah, the challenge from Longello nearly called out Sam Sargent, but again, the power of the challenge, the strength of the challenge, the ball just cannoned back off of the Orient player towards Sam Sargent. Could have easily been an embarrassing situation. He did ever so well, Sam Sargent, to get across to that near post and stop the ball creeping in.
Good save from Sam Sargent. Soturio surely was pushed in the back then, but it's with Dan Johnson wide on the left-hand side. Gets in across. It's Maguire-Drew wide on the right for Leyton Orient. Sees it go away for a throw to the O's. Expect a long one from Sam Ling.
Yeah, I haven't seen that so far this evening, have we? And that's it's been unusual. Normally you expect one slightly different set piece, but they've all been short, and I think it's going to go short again.
It's with Josh White on the right-hand side. Inside the centre circle is Joe Widdowson. Barry Gelvin is going to join us at half-time. I think we've got about 90 seconds of the first half to play. It's back with Sam Sargent, and Sargent's clearance goes short of Sam Ling on the right.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're in that situation, Sam Sargent, the ball at his feet, he's looking for options. He decided to try and play the ball out, but miscued his attempted pass. It goes out for a throw-in on the far side, and I think West Ham will be quite happy just to kill the last 90 seconds and hear that whistle.
David Blundell is listening and asking if it looks as if Leyton Orient are steadying the ship a bit. I think it's just, you have to really be impressed by the West Ham United youngsters. They won their league, of course, last season with 14 wins and 4 draws as the ball is cleared by Jamie Turley. A league that saw Manchester United youngsters come in second. Here is Joby McAnuff as he crosses the halfway line in a central position, and McAnuff playing the ball just behind Maguire-Drew on that occasion, and it's with De Rosa. And, on this right-hand side is Harrison Ashby. Scott delivers it towards the trialist. Oggy is there. Oggy finding Joby McAnuff. It's with Josh White on the halfway line. White finding Maguire-Drew. He lays it back to Sam Ling. Ling looks for options, wants to play it square to Joby McAnuff. It's a good sweeping ball from Joby McAnuff, giving something for Maguire-Drew to chase. And Cardoso clears towards the halfway line. Touched on by Giroud, but intercepted by Sam Ling. And a cross from Josh White finds Worcesterio, just beaten by the bounce on that occasion.
Yeah, just a bit frustrating really there for the O's, wasn't it? Again, misplaced pass and Worcesterio trying to bring the ball under control, fails to do so, and it goes out. Again, just gives West Ham the chance to retain possession. But you know, that'll be the message from half-time really. Orient have just got to do better, haven't they, in terms of their ball retention, try and string some passes together, because they haven't seen enough of the ball in this first 45.
We're talking about Leyton Orient making substitutions. There's plenty of substitutes on the West Ham bench as well, isn't there?
Yep, there is 10 on there, Dave. 10 substitution options for the visitors, which includes a goalkeeper. I expect we'll see most of those young lads this evening, and we certainly expect to see Orient make changes at half-time.
It's West Ham United coming forward again with the danger man Dan Kemp. He threads it into the path of Ashby, who gets caught by Oggy, and that's a free kick to West Ham United on the edge of the Leyton Orient penalty area.
Yeah, again, it was a good run, wasn't it? The fullback, Harrison Ashby, again, someone who's really impressed you again, making that run, getting up and down. At this time, he took the ball beyond Shadrach Oggy and knew exactly what he was doing as he put the ball past him. Oggy couldn't resist tugging back at the shirt and gives an unnecessary foul away. And it's going to be Dan Kemp here with a set piece just on the edge of the box. He'll look to fire this one right across the face.
So there's 2 in the Leyton Orient wall, and there are 6 West Ham United players in and around the Leyton Orient penalty area. Whistle's gone, and it's Dan Kemp, and the free kick took a deflection, and Sam Sargent did well, and that is the last incident of what was a very interesting first half.
Yeah, it was. I think it was fair to say it was a bit of a lesson for the O's, wasn't it? From these young West Ham kids. Ross Embleton goes straight out onto the pitch. Looks as though he's got a plethora. Well, they didn't give the best account of themselves in that 45 minutes. No one can deny that. The scoreline certainly hasn't flattered West Ham at all. But as I say, it's another part of the learning journey in pre-season, isn't it? The intensity. It's just a disappointment. The O's have been second to that here. But we'll see changes at half-time. We'll see what the second 45 brings. But I'll tell you what, Dave, there's certainly some talented individuals down there in that West Ham team, and you just wonder whether, I know the chief scout's here this evening, obviously Martin Ling's here, potentially you might see one of those guys coming on loan, who knows?
Who knows? Well, maybe Barry Galvin knows. You're looking very well, Barry. How are you?
Now, that wasn't the most glamorous first half of football here at the Brow Group Stadium, but make sure you do stay tuned at half-time, where we'll be joined by a very special guest from West Ham. But first, let's hear from our Director of Football, Martin Ling.
Martin, thank you for joining us. The fixtures have been released today, which makes pre-season all the more important in terms of preparation.
Yeah, it makes it real all of a sudden. We've all been there, seen it, done it, before, but when the day the fixtures have come out, it focuses the mind, even though they're a bit later than they normally are. You start to look at, what games we need to travel overnight, them type of things, are the logistics of everything, but also it brings it to a focus that, 3 weeks' time, we're going to be playing, well, we're going to be travelling at about this stage, we'll be travelling away to Oldham on a Friday night with the season started. Obviously before that we have the Carabao and the EFL Cups as well, which that's on the Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, so that schedule's tight. But I know you're going to talk further on in the interview about the schedule, but the scheduling is going to be tight all through the season, I believe.
Yeah, and as you say, we'll start with the schedule now then. This season is particularly unique in the sense that we've started so late that there is going to be so many Tuesday nights, and with the cup competitions it is going to be a congested schedule. So in terms of squad, there isn't going to be 11, there is going to be real impetus for all the squad to be ready to go when they're called upon.
Yeah, I think this year, I mean, I think it's always a squad system. You never win a league title, or you win promotion, or be successful without it being a squad. But I think the squad's going to needs to be bigger and deeper this season. You know, at the moment we're sitting on 24 players, which is, you know, we've got every position covered twice. So 2 right backs, 2 left backs, you know, 4 centre halves, that type of thing, and 2 spare players on top of that. But I think we've got to also have a finger on the pulse in terms of, you know, if we start to get injuries in any areas that we can go and get loan players in. We've got good understanding with, you know, clubs like Tottenham, West Ham, you know, the Arsenals. We've got plenty of people that will offer us players, but we've got to make sure we know the players in all areas. We don't really know sitting here today where our problem is going to develop, because it will be injuries or suspensions that create that situation. But we've got to the 19th of October. That's when the domestic window shuts. The proper window shuts on the 5th of October. There's 2 weeks more for the domestic. So it's only having 12 weeks covered to the 1st of January, which is a bit less than normal, but we've got to make sure we are covered.
Welcome back to the Orient Live studio, and we are joined now with a very special guest, David Moyes. David, thank you for joining me this evening. How are you doing?
You're welcome. Very good, thank you.
Nice. And trip here to the Bro Group Stadium to watch your West Ham under-23s. Mm-hmm. What have you taken from that first half? It's been quite a high-tempo affair for a pre-season friendly.
Well, our young players have been back a little while now and they've been fit, and quite a few of them trained with us through lockdown, so 5 or 6 of them probably have been working with the first team for the best part of a couple of months. They've had a week or 2 off, and then they've been back at it again. So the young players they've all done well tonight, and some of them played in the first team games yesterday, where we won at Wickham and we won at Ipswich. 2 or 3 of them had a game there as well. So they're doing quite well at the moment.
And I'm sure there's a few youngsters out there that you've may have a half an eye on getting them into the first team at some point this season.
Yeah, well, as I said, a few of them played for us last night, and or yesterday afternoon, I should say, and some of them done very well. So we're always looking to put the young players in. It's the big thing at every club, you know. You want to get your good young players in the team. But I think the big thing is I want to see how they play, and I want to see how they develop. And you know, the under-23 season will be getting started shortly as well. So I'll try and pick up as many games as I can to see how they do.
Of course, and it is just a pre-season friendly for now. But as a season manager yourself, just how important is a good pre-season at any level?
I think it's important that you have a good pre-season, but I don't think for Leyton Orient fans or for West Ham fans you should ever read in too much into how the results go. Ultimately, you'd rather win than you would lose, but when the real ball comes out in a few weeks' time for us all, when it really matters. But I think it's important the players gain a bit of confidence, get a bit of sort of good organisation, good planning amongst themselves, and understand themselves how they're doing. So I'm pleased with how our young boys have been doing. They've all been doing very well, and since I've come back, and you know, they've been winning a few games as well.
And it's not actually the first time a side of yours has encountered Leyton Orient. A lot of Orient fans remember back in 2012, I think your Everton side destroyed us 5-0 and a certain Kevin Morales made his debut. Can you remember anything from that night?
I don't remember an awful lot from it, but I obviously remember Kevin Morales. We signed him from, I think it was Olympiacos when we brought him in, and Belgium internationally went on to be, and I think he's probably just out the squad now, but he was a good player for us and we enjoyed having Kevin. And but at that time we had a good team at Everton. We were growing all the time, and we were bringing in a lot of good young talent, and Kevin was one of them.
And it's not your first visit here to Leyton either, is it? Am I right?
No, it's not. I think my biggest memory is I came here as a player with Preston North End when we got promoted, and I was trying to work out in my head when I was watching the game when it was last year. I don't know if it was 95, 96 or something. I'm not quite sure. But it was round about that period, and the biggest memory is we had taken David Beckham on loan that year. He came for a month on loan from Manchester United, and I remember this game was maybe the second or third last game of the season where we won promotion, and him and his dad were in the dressing room down the stairs at that time when he was only an 18-year-old boy, and that's why I remember him for his humility and how humble he was, that he didn't forget that we had sort of given him an opportunity as well, and he came to support us.
Of course, and born just down the road in the aptly named Whips Cross as well.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining me at half-time, David, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
One with the goalkeeper, round the goalkeeper, and Leyton Orient has shattered the deadlock with 21 minutes gone. And it was an excellent move. The flag stays down, and James Dayton one-on-one with the goalkeeper, who showed enormous composure. He's got support from Jamie Turley. Turley drives it long, and the flag stays down, and this time it's Leanne Goal through on goal. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, and that's an excellent finish from Leanne Goal. Again, it was a big shout from the assistant referee on the far side. The flag stayed down, and Leanne Goal showed enormous composure.
The O's chairman, who wishes all the fans well, and again thanks them for all the support throughout the summer.
Earlier tonight we saw the investment and the quality of the equipment that Orient got together. As Jordan Maguire-Drew comes forward, and it's another excellent finish. That really was a wonderful little lofted shot from Jordan Maguire-Drew. Again, he found himself one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and that was a delightful finish.
Yeah, and
throughout most of the day, to be perfectly honest. And the pitch is holding up well. As Spurs with Muckendee wide on the left, cuts inside to the Leyton Orient penalty, and it's a good shot, took the deflection, and Spurs are back in the match. And I think it was the deflection that beat Sam Sargent there.
Yeah, just to connect, didn't it?
The trialist has got behind the Leyton Orient defence. It's a low cross, it's an awkward cross, and Spurs have punished Leyton Orient on that occasion. Switch position for this second half. He's played it inside to Condina. It's good work by Will Saturio, cutting out the ball and driving forward with real purpose. Leanne Goal with spaces into the penalty area. It's a driving shot, and Leyton Orient grabbed a fourth, and that was an excellent move.
Yeah, wonderful finish as well. Leanne interested in.
It's just a couple of feet outside the penalty in a very central position. Goes on now. It's Wilkinson with the left foot. Oh, off the.
So I'm back here in the Orient Live studio with Jacob Branson. Jacob, wasn't the prettiest first half from the Orient, but obviously just a pre-season friendly. Bit disappointed to be 3-0 down at half-time, am I right?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, like I said, it wasn't the best performance. A bit sluggish, I'd say, from the O's, but some positives in there, I'd say. But obviously, you'd hope for better in this second half with quite a few changes, but some very impressive performances from West Ham as well.
There was a disappointing own goal for the third, but and a slight mishap for the first. But that free kick that came in the 12th minute from the ex-Stevenage loanee Dan Kemp, that was an absolute peach, wasn't it?
Yeah, an absolute stunner, and I actually think Dan Kemp's been one of the sort of best players on the pitch so far. He spoke about the own goal. It was his cross that sort of got that on the board as well. So he's been the man to watch, and as you said, that free kick was beautiful. It's something you'd love to see as a football fan.
It is in any kind of game. But we expect a full wholesale change now for this second half. So that means Lawrence Vigouroux going in at goal, Coulson and Happy are the new centre-back pairing, with Miles Judd and James Brophy are the full-backs. We've got Usise in that holding midfield role with Dayton and Clay alongside him, and then a front three of Wilkinson, Angol and youngster Ifiani is making a start out on the wing. They've got a bit of a climb ahead of them. But hopefully a few more goals for these boys in red in this second half.
Let's hope so. I hope for free Orient's way, hopefully now. But yeah, probably a bit more experience, I suppose, in this sort of lineup for the second half. A bit more solidarity at the back, perhaps, and hopefully that can stem good steads to go forward. And obviously Lee Angle's been in some good form so far in pre-season, so it'd be nice to see him continue that.
That it would. Now let's head back over to our match commentators, Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock. Enjoy the second half.
Has he got links with Oldham? Has he previously? Not to my knowledge.
I mean, that's another club.
Yeah,
that's really, really strange.
Yeah, again, a club that's used to being in a higher division, I would say, would expect to be in a higher division.
Members of the Premier League, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. They would expect to be in at least League One, I'd imagine Oldham. And yeah, I think yeah, it's an interesting division next year, isn't it? And I was having to put you on the spot. I really couldn't call it at all myself. I'm confident we'll be one in the top half of the table, let's say, or roundabouts.
I think it's Mansfield, isn't it? The first home league game. They were the underachievers last year, and they've signed some interesting players. Yeah, again, they've invested, haven't they? They've kind of gone against the grain when you look at the other clubs in the lower leagues. They've invested early. They've clearly got ambitions to obviously finish the season in the promotion places. And again, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to play everyone twice, haven't you? So it'll be a good measure early on of where the O's are at, because I think that will be one of the harder tests throughout the campaign. Barrow deserved to be back in the Football League. They were worthy champions. Yeah, it's great to see Barrow back in the Football League, isn't it? I think like when Accrington Stanley came back in, you know, all the old heads thought, yes, that's great. It's great to see him back. And yeah, I mean, they were close the previous season, and it's good to see him back. It's a long away trip. Harrogate got to kick off though at Doncaster, because they of course gained promotion with their plastic pitch. They did, yes, and that is against the EFL rules, isn't it? And so particularly that away game, we're talking about Barrow. It's a long old trip, and my sister is actually 50 on the day of that game, and she was hoping that there'd be a home match so she could celebrate on the third floor with when the fixtures came out. She said to me, "Where are we on the 10th of October?" And I said, Barrow? "How'd you like Barrow?" Well, let's hope supporters can be in. I think she thought I said Harrow, but I said no, Barrow. People are talking about maybe October. Yes, hopefully it'll be, but we're still not sure of the shape of it. We're still not sure how many people will be allowed in. Will it be a percentage of people? Plus, you've got to move to and from the ground and get, you know, in and out the concourses. So I'm sure that the club will keep their supporters informed. But, you know, it's great to be back here personally for us guys. But it's not the same, is it, without the crowds? Football is all about the team and the crowd. So, you know, this is a prequel to what we hope will be, you know, a good reunion of all the fans at Brisbane Road. It looks as if the teams are out for the start of the second half. My thanks to Barry for joining us at half-time, and we look forward to seeing and hearing Barry throughout the forthcoming campaign. And looks as if there's going to be plenty of changes, Matt, for the second half. Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to look now from the O's perspective. I think we are going to see a full 11 changes for the O's. Ross Embleton just giving his final instructions there. So actually, for 11, it looks as though Sam Sargent is going to be between the sticks for the start of the second half. So 10 changes for the O's by the looks of things. Dan Happy, Josh Coulson, James Dayton, Miles Judd, Usise, Connor Wilkinson, Lee Angol, Craig Clay is out there, and it looks as though Brian Ifeanyi as well, a young first-year scholar. He's going to get his opportunity. For the visitors, looks as though they've made a handful of substitutions. We'll have to confirm all of them, but can certainly tell from the team sheet that they've made at least 3. Abu Beko has come on, Watson has come on, Chesters has come on. Looks as though they're keeping Nathan Trott in goal, and it will be Lonego at left back. Looks as though it will be Harrison Ashby at right back, but I think they've made 2 changes at centre half to get confirmation of them, but plenty of changes, just as you'd expect. Second half is off and underway, and in this second half, Leyton Orient in the all-red kit, attacking the goal away to our right, the Tommy Johnson stand, the south end of the ground. West Ham United's under-23s, and a chain strip of all sky blue with the familiar 2 claret stripes across the face of the shirts. And it's West Ham United who really did impress in the opening 45, that had possession at the start of the second. Matt's just going through the West Ham United lineup to have a look at what changes they have made. They came here, of course, as champions of their divisions, as Connor Wilkinson lays the ball back to Miles Judd. Judd beaten in the tackle on that occasion, and it's the Hammers coming forward here. The ball into the Leyton Orient penalty area. It's Odobeko that caused the problems then for the Hammers, and the referee, I think, has given the visitors a throw, which is in line with the Leyton Orient penalty area. You're taken on this near side, the Hammers left in front of the Justin Edinburgh stand, and it's good work by Longero. Tries to get in the cross, intercepted by James Dayton. It's the trialist who brings the ball under control well on his chest and then switches it from left to right. And Ashby has an opportunity to recover. He felt that he played the ball. The referee disagrees, and we do know now the West Ham United lineup for the second half match.
Yeah, we'll confirm it will start from goalkeeper, which is Nathan Trott. He retains his position between the sticks. It looks as though it's going to be a back four line, which has Longelo at left back. Substitute has come on, Okocha at centre half. Alongside him, Akinola and Ashby, who both completed the first 45 minutes. And then it's the trialist who, again, continues that role, just playing in front of the back four line. He's wearing the number 4 shirt. And then ahead of him is a four-man midfield, which consists of Dan Kemp, who continues to play down the right-hand side. In the midfield is Chesters. Alongside him is Watson, 2 substitutions there. And then it's, again, the impressive front man, Darquar, who's up top for West Ham in the second half. So it looks as though it's the 4-1-4-1 formation West Ham are playing there with, as I say, the trialist just sitting in front of that back four line. And then it's a 4-man midfield with Darquar up front.
So it's Leyton Orient that have possession wide on the left-hand side, but not for long. Comes back to Dan Happy. Happy finds James Brophy. Brophy plays the ball square to Josh Coulson. Coulson finds Miles Judd. Judd plays it down the channel. Coming across is Liango. And denied by the woodwork at the weekend, having scored 3 in his opening 2 games.
Yep, give his confidence a real boost, won't it, to get some early goals in pre-season.
Connor Wilkinson on the right-hand side. He hasn't looked so sharp pre-season. It's now with James Dayton. He's got support from Josh Coulson. Coulson plays it back to Dan Happy. Happy with their left foot, drives it out to the far side. Good ball from Dan Happy. And here's the youngster, isn't it, Matt, going forward for Leyton Orient.
Yep,
was he caught then?
It looked as though he was, wasn't it, Brian Ifeanyi? Again, first-year scholar, got an opportunity this evening, and just looked as though he caught a finger there from the West Ham defender just as the ball, just after it had been released. Looked as though he may have got a stray finger in the eye, but physio now comes on. It looks as though he's got to his feet.
James Dayton saying, why isn't that a free kick? I think he's got a point, isn't he? I know it's only a friendly, but...
I think the referee will probably argue that the ball had gone and it was well after the challenge, but even more so for him to give the foul and the free kick. But have we given the O's line-up, Dave?
Let's do it now.
Yeah, Sam Sargent retains his position in goal. It's a back four for the O's with James Brophy at left back, Dan Happy and Josh Coulson, the 2 centre-halves. Miles Juddy's playing at right back, and then it's a 5-man midfield by the looks of it. Connor Wilkinson on the right. James Dayton playing in behind Liango with Usise and Craig Clay in the centre of midfield. On the left is the young Brian Ifeanyi, and Liango up top on his lonesome. So it looks as though that is the formation for the second half for the O's.
And it's West Ham United that are coming forward here with Akinola. Plays it square. So West Ham United look comfortable on the ball. It's a first time touch from Aloga. It comes out to one of those substitutes, Okibeko. And the cross doesn't really trouble Sam Sargent, who rolls the ball underarm out to the left-hand side, and he finds James Brophy. Brophy chasing, and it's now with Ifeanyi. Loses out on that occasion. And here is the impressive Dan Kemp, wide on the right-hand side, gets to the byline, keeps the ball into play. They'll settle for the corner. West Ham United's third of the game.
Yeah, he done well. He was well matched by James Brophy as well, who had to make sure he intercepted the attempted cross. But yeah, we spoke in the first half. Dan Kemp, very impressive in the first 45, and again continuing where he left off with a corner, which he's now going to take for West Ham.
Scored West Ham's second, created the third as the corner on this occasion is overhead. We spoke too soon, didn't we, Matt?
Say, classic case of commentator's curse. It was a pretty poor corner from Dan Kemp. If you look at the runs, they all went to the near post, and
he missed the penalty area.
He delivered it right over the back, and there was not a single West Ham player within 20 yards, but it goes out for a throw-in.
There we go. It's a throw to Leyton Orient. You can get in touch. You can text on 07748 774 301, or you can tweet at Dulcet Dave. As the ball is played forward towards Dan Happy. Happy finds Miles Judd, spins up into the air, and it's Cisse who brings it under control, and Cisse finds Craig Clay in the centre circle. That was a very good tackle by the trialist.
Yeah, again, just showing the signs. They will not let Orient settle on the ball at the moment, and it's made it very difficult for the O's as Liangol flicks the ball on into the path of Wilkinson. But again, the West Ham fullback, Longello, comes round well, covers up, and it will be a throw to the O's.
One that Connor Wilkinson takes. He finds Miles Judd. Good first time touch from Judd towards Dayton. It's now Angol inside the penalty area. Turns, tries to nutmeg his man. Unable to do so. It's Josh Coulson who picks out Miles Judd on the right. Judd finding Dayton. Dayton lays it back to Dan Happy. Happy inside the centre circle. To his left is James Brophy. Brophy finds Cisse. Cisse leaves a lovely little death pass to Wilkinson. Switches it out to the right, and it's with Miles Judd. He gives something for Connor Wilkinson to chase. Sliding in is the trialist. Makes a good tackle on Wilkinson. That's a throw to Leyton Orient.
Yeah, again, the trialist, impressive challenge. He's doing a good defensive work, but it just feels as though in the early stages of this, there's a bit more life about Orient, Dave. And again, it just looks as though they're working a tad harder, particularly in the midfield. Cisse winning a couple of important tackles, Craig Clay getting involved as well. Just seems as though they're asking one or two questions.
Rosa caught Liangol then. I tell you what, they work very hard without the ball. Rosa he's a striker, making that tackle on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, absolutely. Fight for everything.
It's probably not quite on the edge. It's about 8 yards out. The referee marching back what is now a 4-man wall, or is it still just the 3 with one on the outside? Connor Wilkinson, I think, is going to go for goal, and he does. He's got a curl on it, and Trot equal to it.
Yeah, he got it up and over, didn't he, Connor Wilkinson, but just didn't have the pace on the ball. He was, as you say, he was trying to curl the ball. And in the end, that gave enough time for Nathan Trott to get over, move across his goal, get 2 hands to it and collect it cleanly.
A lot of smoke out beyond the high road on the far side. It's either a very large bonfire or something else there in Leyton.
Yeah, or a poor barbecue.
Yeah, it's a lot of smoke, isn't there, as the ball goes back to Nathan Trott, on loan at AFC Wimbledon last season. Yeah. And AFC Wimbledon, Leyton Orient will face in the EFL Trophy, which is all about social distancing. It's back now with Dan Happy. Happy finds Josh Coulson in a central position. Coulson drives it out to the right-hand side, looking for Connor Wilkinson. Trialist got there first. Dayton in pursuit. It's with the trialist. As Judd tries to make the tackle. The ball comes back again to the trialist. And it's with one of those half-time substitutes for the Hammers, and that's Watson. Watson in turn finds Akinola. It's West Ham have possession with Okocha. He plays it out to this left-hand side. As the Hammers happy to keep possession inside their own half. We've played almost 10 minutes of this second half. We haven't had a clear-cut chance at either end.
No, absolutely. And say the O's, I think the positive is that they have made their presence felt more in midfield, which has evened the game up somewhat. But West Ham still looking very calm, confident on the ball, aren't they? Moving it around quickly, but there's an error.
And here is an opportunity for Liangol. It's inside the penalty area. It's a chip shot that goes wide of the far post. A very rare slip at the back, and Liangol with the first real chance in open play for the O's.
Well, we talked about the visitors being confident on the ball, but he was overconfident there, wasn't he? A Kocher, and it was a slip. Very similar to how West Ham opened the scoring, but Liangol, I think, tried to be too clever, Dave. He tried to chip the goalkeeper. I just wonder whether he'd taken a touch out of his feet early and hit the ball hard. He would have had a better probability of finding the back of the net, but you could see the frustration. Angol knew himself there. He's missed, I think, what you could probably say has been Orient's best opportunity in the game so far.
There haven't been many of them. It's a free kick to West Ham United that has been taken on the right-hand side. And it's the Hammers that will need to regain their composure. They think they're now beginning to be aware that it's a different task that they face in this second half after all the changes, the 10 that the O's made at the break. It's Josh Coulson who lives it forward towards Liangol. Angol flicks it forward towards Craig Clay. Clay chasing, does ever so well, and the decision goes against Craig Clay. He's not happy with it, and I can understand why.
Well, it looked as though it was a 50-50 ball, didn't it? And looked as though Clay got some of the ball. He certainly got some of the man, and he went down, and the referee blew the whistle immediately. But hey, West Ham get on with the play again, not hanging around. Player gets to his feet, and we restart the game quickly.
Paul has been in touch. I should explain to Paul that it's just audio commentary tonight. We're testing the stream, and it's a different way of doing the audio tonight. We're using an ISDN box, but there's no video, so do not adjust your set, I think is the message. You don't remember that show, do you? David Jason at his best.
No, I don't. Big fan of some of David Jason's acting work, but that wasn't one of my favourites, Dave.
But I'll tell you what, it was on the telly when I was a child, so that definitely is going back a long way. We've had some texts come through on 07748 774 301.
Yeah, that was Paul in Croatia who was asking for confirmation of that number, and he's heard absolutely right because his text has found its way through. Len in Leyton asking about the stream for Gillingham on Saturday. Will it be available? I don't believe it will, but I'm sure the club media team will confirm that through the Twitter account. And Jason making the point, I hope some of these young West Ham players are on the radar of our chief scout and director of football, particularly given their location and proximity to us. Well, there's certainly been a few out there who've impressed tonight, Dave, no doubt about it.
And we know that a number of them went out on loan last season, so you never know. You'll have to watch this space, and also, if you haven't seen it, watch the Q&A, because the director of football, Martin Ling, had some interesting points to make about recruitment, and not least the fact that this transfer window stays open until October. It's a very different season that we're about to start. It's a big test for Leyton Orient in this second half here against a strong, young West Ham United side. They really put Leyton Orient through their paces, which is what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem with this friendly, Dave. And despite the scoreline, I think this is exactly what the O's players need. It's an intense, a very intense workout. The game being played at a fast tempo. And certainly the quality has been shown from the visitors. So from that perspective, I think Ross Embleton will be pleased by the quality of the pre-season fixture, and it'll be a very different encounter on Saturday when Gillingham come to E10.
It certainly will be. Paul's just been in touch, listening in Malta. It's 14 minutes gone in this second half. Paul, as Leon Goal moves into the West Ham United penalty, gets to the byline and has forced what is Leyton Orient's first corner of this second half. Their sixth of the game. They made 10 changes at the break, Paul. The O's, who were trailing by 3-0 at half-time. It was Drew who put West Ham into an early advantage. A free kick from Dan Kemp gave the second, and Kemp's cross was turned into his own net by Sam Ling in the latter stages of that first half. But this is a corner to Leyton Orient, and James Dayton takes with the left foot, looking for Dan Happy, and it's a header from Happy. He did well to get on the end of that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he was stretching, wasn't he? But again, it was at the back post. Again, that familiar theme we've seen throughout the pre-season campaign. Orient tend to deliver the ball towards the back post. Jamie Turley often a target. On that occasion, it was Dan Happy, but he was stretching for it. Always going to be difficult to get it back across goal.
So it's West Ham United that are coming forward with the trialist, who's being pursued by Craig Clay. And Clay not allowing the trialist any time at all on the ball. Out on the far side is Harrison Ashby.
Yeah, just a tad over exuberant there, wasn't he, in terms of trying to retain possession. Lent into James Brophy. Brophy goes to ground. Easy decision for the linesman standing right next to it to put the flag up. And Orient can restart the game with a free kick.
Contrast between the first half and the second half for the O's is quite remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's obviously been changes for the visitors as well. You have to take that into account. But I just feel they've maintained a stronger presence in midfield with the introduction of Cisse and Clay, which has helped Orient get up the pitch.
And Angol is holding the ball up well, and he's doing that now, and he gets into the penalty area. He looks, that goes for goal, and he forces the save at the near post from Trott.
Yeah, good work from Lee Angol, but Connor Wilkinson was at the back post. I just wonder whether, if Angol had looked up and seen Wilkinson, whether he would have taken the shot on, but it forced the keeper into the save.
It's with Dayton on the right-hand side, pushed from behind, free kick to Leyton Orient.
And James Dayton doing what James Dayton does and invites a foul, doesn't he? Just stands his ground, waits for the challenge, and it came from the West Ham youngster who's just pushed James Dayton there. I don't think he was impressed with the way Dayton went to ground, but so he's very clever at that, James Dayton.
So it's a free kick to Leyton Orient on the edge of the West Ham United penalty area. 2 in the wall, 11 back for West Ham United, 10 of those inside the penalty area. Is James Dayton going to go from goal from this one? He's got plenty of options in the box, and he's got plenty of height to aim for. He could even try and catch Trot out. There were options here for James Dayton. The whistle has gone with the left foot. He goes for goal, and it wasn't too far over the bar.
Wasn't far away, was it? And as the text come through, it's a message this evening from Nigel Travis. Good evening to all the fans. He said on Monday on the Q&A, they're getting used to the games to perfect the streaming platform, which is why I think this evening it's not being streamed live, but I think that's an excellent idea by the club to make sure that everything is ready for the first game. That's important, and I'm sure fans will quite happily have the opportunity to miss watching these games live if it means they've got everything up and working for when we hit the ground running on September the 5th. So that's the message from Nigel Travis, and good to hear him listening this evening. I'm sure he'll be listening with intent to see how the O's have found a way back into this game, and I think they've done that.
Yes, we're trying a different way of doing the audio tonight. We're using an ISDN box. So we're just sort of gradually getting everything together. Of course, last Wednesday it was the studio, which I thought looked really impressive, and the feedback was very good. And if you haven't heard Kent, Nigel, Dan and Martin on the Q&A, then that's strongly recommended. It's on the Orient YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I think the message went out today, I think, Dave, on the Orient Twitter account about how you can access matchday passes for the season. So encourage all Orient supporters to look into that.
Dan Kemp plays a 1-2 with Harrison, and it's Kemp that's caught off straight side on that occasion.
Yeah, I think we're going to see 3 substitutions for the visitors, or I should say another 3 substitutions, and we'll take a note of who's coming on and who's coming off. Of course, no fourth official with the electronic ball down in the dugout, so it's just a case of getting the players' names and numbers. Well, I say numbers because there is no names on the shirts, but it looks as though the first one is Granigi. He's the first player to come on. It looks as though the second player to come on will be number 21, which is Swire, and the third and final substitution for West Ham will be Diallo. I think Dan Kemp is one of those to make way, so Dan Kemp has come off. And I believe it may be the trialist who is the second player to be substituted, and the third will be the forward Darquar. So they're the 3 to come off, they're the 3 to come on.
And I don't know about you, but I've been really impressed with Dan Kemp. I mean, there were so many of the West Ham United youngsters that impressed, particularly in the first half, but probably the standout man was Dan Kemp.
Yeah, I think Darquar as well. Don't want to take anything away from him, Dave, because I thought he was sensational. The first half hour really caused problems for the O's. He's made his way off now, but yeah, young lad. Obviously, he's 20 years of age, powerful forward. So we'll see. We'll keep a close eye on his potential this season. But Dan Kemp, you mentioned again, we saw him last year, didn't he? Played against the O's at Stevenage. Pretty quiet that day, if truth be told, but tonight he showed a lot of creativity, fizzed the ball in, which forced Sam Ling into making the mistake for the own goal and the third West Ham goal. But yeah, there's some decent, talented youngsters out there.
Alex Ravel has been working to remodel and rebuild the Stevenage squad ahead of what will be another league campaign for the Borough after the problems for Macclesfield Town. And, having only won 3 last season, they should consider themselves very, very fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. Real reprieve, wasn't it?
Can we say good luck to Scott Cuthbert? He launched his coaching school last week.
Yeah, always good to see former players doing things off the field as well, and particularly when it can help youngsters as well who want to improve their footballing, soccer skills. And Scott Cuthbert's, as you say, sounds like he's launched his own coaching school, so good to see him focus on something. Who's fair to say he's coming towards the end of his career.
Still involved at Stevenage as a free kick to Leyton Orient, taken by James Dayton, comes out to Dan Happy, and it's Wilkinson's header that's turned over the bar by Trott.
Yeah, he should have scored, really. Again, the ball came in, the initial header and goal. Looked as though it had found the path of Dan Happy at the back post, and again, I don't know if he had too much time to think about it, but it was almost a cushioned header rather than a powerful one, and the goalkeeper, Nathan Trott, just clawed the ball with the right hand. It will be a corner to the O's.
James Dayton, the man to take this corner kick in front of the Tommy Johnson stand away to our right. The O's trail by 3 goals now. With the left foot, the ball is delivered towards the far post. All those goals coming in the first half. If you just joined us, Leyton Orient making team changes at the break. And it's had a real impact as Clay comes forward now. Leyton Orient really testing this West Ham United defence. But the Hammers have also made plenty of changes, haven't they, Matt?
Yes, they have. And again, I think that's perhaps taken the sting out of the game somewhat because the pace of it now is much more settled.
It's with Dan Happy. Happy plays it on the deck to the halfway line. Clay plays it out to the left-hand side. Quick feet from Ifiania, and out on the far side. That will be a throw to West Ham United.
Yeah, it looked as though Ifiani...
And it's a drink, isn't it?
It is. They're going to take an opportunity to have a break in play, take on some fluids. Yeah, Ifiani, again, seen flashes of him in this game, and we in the second half felt as though he did enough to win the throw there.
Showed plenty of confidence then, didn't he, with the little sort of dragging about the feet.
Yeah,
he's a quick little player, isn't he?
Yeah, he
Papadopoulos did all right in the first half as well.
Yeah, big night for him, isn't it? And again, you look at the quality of the players they're coming up against. It's always going to be a test for them, but I think both of them have done or given a reasonable account of themselves. Obviously, a lot more to see from them in the weeks and months ahead, but they'll be enjoying this.
So it is a drinks break as we had in the first half, and it's not just a drinks break. I think as this is almost a training exercise, isn't it? There's an opportunity for coaching to take place, and there's plenty of coaches out there.
Yeah, there is. Dean Brill, Ross Embleton, Danny Sender, all barking out the instructions. The physio Keaton as well, just handing some water bottles around. James Brophy takes one. Looks as though the fitness and conditioning coach is down there. We've got up here, alongside us, Matt Harold and the 2 performance analysts as well. They'll be putting messages down to the bench. But, yeah, there's plenty of involvement across all spectrums.
Liango has come very close in this second half on a couple of occasions. I've been impressed with Dan Happy, particularly when he's gone forward from the corners.
Yeah, Dan Happy, I think we've seen enough of him now, haven't we? National League, Football League. Dan Happy's an exceptional talent. I've no doubt at all that Dan Happy will have a good long career ahead of him. And again, this evening is pre-season, but you can see already the impact he's made in it. He's strong. He's certainly slowed down a Darquar, put a bit more force on the West Ham attacking play, and he showed his strength.
And I think in this second half we've seen how important and how significant the signing of Cisse was. He's such a calm influence on this team, isn't he?
Yeah, I think with Cisse he plays that role, doesn't he, where he's going to sit in front of that back line. I don't think you're going to see Cisse driving the team forward, making lung-busting 20-30 yard runs with the ball. But what he will do is he'll look to win that second ball in the middle of the park. He'll look to get players in control of the possession of the football for Orient and build things from the back. And he just gives you that protection, doesn't he? I think that's his role defined, really. But I think we've seen him make some important challenges already in the second half, and he's just given Orient that little bit more strength in the middle.
Having had the drinks, the game resumes with 25 minutes of the second half played, and the throw eventually taken by the Hammer wide on the right-hand side. He'd gone walkabout, hasn't he? I think the referee was going to allow him to take the throw in every light, because no one could remember where the ball had gone off. I couldn't even remember that it had gone away for a throw for West Ham, as the ball is played into the Leyton Orient penalty and into the arms of Sam Sargent, the only man who's going to play in the 90, I think.
Yeah, Diallo there with the ball on the left-hand side, cut in. Half-decent cross, but in the end it was the substitute, Odebeko, who just halted his run somewhat, which made it easy for Sam Sargent. He had good visibility of the ball, and he was able to claim the cross comfortably.
Hasn't really been tested in this second half. What a contrast to the opening 45 as Miles Judd plays the ball forward towards Leangol, turns ever so well. He's got 3 West Ham United players around him. He's still got possession as the Leyton Orient striker, and he's got support from James Dayton, who got pushed from behind, free kick to Leyton Orient, and Goal did well.
Yeah, he's working hard out there, isn't he? Just in the same way as Danny Johnson worked hard in the first 45, but Angol seems to be having more of the ball, and again, I think it stems back to the fact that the midfield are starting to win more tackles, win more possession, and as a result, Orient are pushing West Ham further back into their own half.
Cisse back to Brophy. Brophy goes on the outside of his man, and he takes it towards the edge of the penalty. A pass going astray, just beyond Craig Clay, as Cisse tries to make the tackle, but it's Craig Clay that does, and Clay finding Leangol, holding the ball up well with his back to goal, midway inside the West Ham United half, and he picks out Miles Judd. Judd's got Connor Wilkinson ahead of him, is James Dayton, behind him is Miles Judd. It's with Judd, he pulls it back to Cisse. Cisse finds Dan Happy inside the centre circle, Happy to Brophy. Brophy brings it under control, stops and checks, lays it back to the halfway line, and Dan Happy with those orange boots, a pass that went behind Ifeani, and it's now with Josh Coulson. Coulson plays it back to Sam Sargent.
Yeah, again, Orient now seeing much more of the football, aren't they, Dave? And the tempo has stepped off somewhat, particularly from the visitors. But it's a much more even affair out there now.
Absolutely, from an Orient point of view, a goal or two would be an added bonus. But it is about fitness, it is about getting to sort of know options, take risks, experiment. It's definitely not about results, as we were talking to Barry Galvin at half-time at this stage of the campaign. And tonight, Leyton Orient have played a very good West Ham United squad.
Yeah, there's Connor Wilkinson. The whistle had gone, but he decided he'd have an effort on goal. Wasn't too far away. I think we're going to see another substitution for the visitors.
And who's this one?
Well, I think this is Lewis coming on. We'll wait and see what player is leaving the field, but Lewis is definitely the man to come on.
That's coming off?
I think it may be, Dave. I think you may be right. Or is it the fullback? I think it may be...
no, it's the
no, it is the trialist. Well, good call. He picks up a water bottle, makes his way into the dugout, and he'll be going back into the change room, where I think the visiting teams, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, I think the visiting teams are getting changed on the second floor.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I think it's the Legends Lounge, isn't it? It's the back of the Justin Edinburgh stand. I think it's all very different arrangements in terms of showers and such like. And James Dayton, midway inside the Leyton Orient half, moving forward, the ball at his feet, got caught from behind. The referee allowed play to continue, and I think he's going to give the free kick now. That was good refereeing.
Yeah, it was, absolutely. But, you make a interesting point though, Dave. I think, of course, we're all keen for the return of fans in a safe environment, but it'd be interesting to see visiting players make their way back through the gallery area, wouldn't it? If fans were permitted into the stadium, how that would work. All one of what I suspect is a million problems that clubs are looking at right now, and how they get around these things if we were to see supporters return.
Dayton lays it to Brophy on the left-hand side. Here's Ifeani. Back to Brophy. Brophy finds Josh Coulson, and Coulson gives Sam Sargent a touch, and he'll be happy to have a touch because he hasn't seen it very often in this second half. It's a good clearance from Sam Sargent. Leangol got pulled back, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and that's the goal for the O's, and it's one they deserved. And Leangol, I think, picked up an injury in the process.
Maybe, I think, just in the follow-through of the challenge. It was a last-ditch attempt from Okocha. It was an error from Okocha, to be honest with you, Dave, because it was just a long ball forward from Sam Sargent, but Leangol put pressure on the defender. The defender made the error. Leangol was through on goal, but he finished it very well, one-on-one, and he absolutely rifled it home.
What a ball down the centre from Sam Sargent. He knew exactly what he wanted to achieve, didn't he?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, there was an error from the centre half. He'll look back at that again and think he could have done a lot better, but you give credit to Sargent. He hit the ball long down the middle. Leangol, give credit to him. He muscled his defender off the ball, and then when he was through, he finished it superbly. So great to see Leangol picking up another goal in pre-season.
Leangol, I suppose he could be replaced if he wouldn't want to take any risks with an injury. I know Leyton Orient have made all their substitutions.
Yeah, he looks okay, Leangol, I must be honest. Since since he's got to his feet, he looks as though he's okay, but we'll wait and see.
It's back now with Sam Sargent. And at the moment, Leyton Orient winning the second half. It's Leyton Orient 1, West Ham United 3 on the night. The O's have made 10 changes at half-time, and we've played 31 minutes of this second half. It's with Connor Wilkinson. Wilkinson finds Lee Angol, sweeping it back towards Wilkinson. Angol goes down, looking for the free kick. It's intercepted by Craig Clay, and it's Ifiani now moving into the visitors' penalty area, still with Ifiani, and it's the youngster that finds Clay. Clay picking out Dayton, back again to Clay. Clay finds Lee Angol, and goal inside the penalty area. It's on his left foot, shot is blocked. Dayton picks up the pieces. Good curling shot, good save from Trott.
Yeah, you can see what Dayton was trying to do, Dave, just clipping into the top corner with the left foot, just try and bend it round the defender that was closing him down, which was Okocha. But again, better build-up from the O's, and have certainly been better in the second 45, no doubt about that. They found a way back into the game, and it's a much more even football match right now.
Ball is hit wide onto the far side, and that will be a throw to Leyton Orient. They're playing the second half, I think, at a higher tempo, aren't they?
I think there's, as we've mentioned, I just think there's a bit more physicality from the O's out there, which has helped them dominate the possession. You look at Cisse in the middle, Clay's put in some tackles, Angol's making his presence felt up top, Wilkinson's been working hard. So there's been, I think, a much more physical presence about the O's.
Wilkinson drives it long towards James Dayton, just ran away from James Dayton, who's worked so hard, and that's going to be a throw to West Ham United. Came back last season from a very serious injury. It's a big campaign ahead of James Dayton.
Yes.
There's so many players whose last season was frustrated by injury.
Without a doubt, there's plenty of them who have had their injury concerns over the last sort of 12-18 months, but yeah, they'll be ready and raring to go, and that's all you can ask for at this stage. We know Lewis Dennis has picked up a knock, but apart from that, everyone is looking fit and sharp.
Brophy going forward with real pace. Brophy into the visitors' penalty area. Cross is blocked, and Leyton Orient force a corner. It's their 7th of the game, the 2nd of the second half, I think.
Yeah, positive running from James Brophy. First time we've really seen him stretch his legs on that left-hand side, but you know, with Brophy, when he gets into that final third, he causes problems, and he did so there. The intended cross was cut out. Will be a corner to the O's.
Fine-tuning. Dean Brill having a word with Sam Sargent as Dayton in front of the Tommy Johnson stand delivers a corner to Brophy. He's got space. A little back heel finds Dayton. Dayton looks up. Right foot cross. Aimed towards Cisse. Cisse finds a goal off the bar.
It was a good save. I think the keeper's made a touch there, hasn't he? Or has he? I think, well, the Orient players certainly feel that the keeper saved it, and he looked that way from here, but he's given a goal kick, which is a surprising decision. But again, Orient creating more chances now. That time it was a cross from Dayton, a header back across goal from Cisse, and Lee Angol again causing problems.
Did I get it wrong? Was it touched against the bar, or
no?
Is that actually a save?
You had it right, Dave. It was touched from the goalkeeper. And you have to give credit to the substitute goalkeeper, Heggie.
Good work again by Lee Angol, moving forward in a central position. Options to his left and to his right. It's still Lee Angol. He lays it out to the left-hand side. Craig Clay is caught by a very good tackle. I think Watson that made that tackle, and out on the far side, it's a throw to the O's as we say good evening to Richard J. Bourne.
Yes, we do. He said great for Angol again. He's done well in pre-season. He said second half Orient have been much better. He says when you look at the two teams, he said you just feel this is a stronger 11 from a physical point of view. That certainly feels as though that's shown. But once again there, say Lee Angol involved, Orient creating chances. He's been much better, and Ross Emberton will be much happier with what he's seen in this second half.
I think what the game overall proves is that there are so many options in this Leyton Orient squad.
Yeah, and you expect that. That's I think what Martin Ling's spoken about, hasn't he, on the recent Q&A about the fact that Orient, I think 25 players in the squad. Ultimately, they always look to have at least 2 players for every position. Questions: is there still one more to come in? Maybe in the central defensive position. We'll wait and see. But yeah, that's where you want at this stage of the season. You want players fighting for places, and I think tonight I think you could argue there is a lot of competition for places. I'm not sure at this moment in time whether Ross Embleton will know who his starting 11 will be a week on Saturday. Whether he does, we perhaps we can find out and ask. But at the moment, there's still a lot of players looking to impress.
With so many midweek games and with a salary cap and such like, youngsters could have a big say. Nifiani and Papadopoulos have both impressed tonight, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they've done okay, haven't they? Big night for them. Let's not forget as well, Hector Cipriano as well. You've got Jaden Sweeney, Shadrach Hockey's been involved tonight. Yep. So there's a lot of depth there. And
you forget how, I forget how young Oggy is. He's only just turned 19 as Craig Clay plays it into the centre circle. Dayton back to Clay. Clay finds Judd on the right-hand side. Miles Judd under a little bit of pressure here. Holds up play well. He's got support from Josh Coulson, and it's such a contrast to the first half that Leyton Orient having so much more possession now with 36 minutes of this second half played. Leyton Orient 1, West Ham United's under 23 3.
Yeah, you talk about those youngsters, Dave. It's inevitable. They will be getting game time this year, particularly with the EFL Trophy as well. 3 fixtures there: Brighton under 23s, Wimbledon, and of course Charlton. The O's go to the Valley. The other 2 will be at Brisbane Road. But yeah, you're going to need a lot of depth this season, and the O's have got that in terms of numbers.
Akilola, one of the few outfield players to play 90 minutes for West Ham United, it would seem, as James Brophy chases back. Was Brophy pushed? The referee says he was. Free kick to Leyton Orient.
It looked like a tight call, that one, but Brophy, I think, made the linesman's decision for him when he went to ground, both arms in the air as a protest, and in the end he stuck the flag up. It didn't look as though there was much in it. It looked as though it was Swire on the far side who was putting the pressure on James Brophy.
Free kick to Leyton Orient. Sam Sargent just outside the penalty area to take this one. Ross Embleton looks up, looks on, hands on hips as Sargent delivers it towards Leanne Goal, off his chest to Ifiani. Got caught from behind. Free kick to Leyton Orient, deep inside West Ham United territory.
Yeah, good to see young Brian Ifiani working hard out there again, winning a free kick in a decent position. Josh Coulson, I think, he's going to take an approach here, as is Dan Happy and Usise. They're all making what looks like a laboured walk towards the edge of the penalty area, but it is going to be Dayton who's going to take this free kick.
James Dayton then on the left-hand side, 2 in the wall. The referee making sure it's back the full 10 yards. If anything, it's 11 yards, I think. It's going to be Dayton with the left foot. So Dayton 1, Josh Coulson's header goes over the bar.
Yeah, he's got a score there. Excellent delivery, good run from Josh Coulson, but he knows himself he should have scored, should have at least hit the target. He was unmarked, and as I say, he got away from his marker. Beautiful cross from Dayton. Josh Coulson, normally so good in the air, isn't he, from set pieces, but on that occasion couldn't find the target.
So it is a goal kick to West Ham United. They're taking their time over these sort of things in this second half. It's the Hungarian international goalkeeper, isn't it, in the second half?
Yeah, Hegyi, he's made one good save, tipping that Leanne Goal cross onto the
Although
crossbar.
The referee didn't see it that way.
He didn't. He gave the goal kick, but it was definitely a save from the goalkeeper. It was a good save too.
It's back now with Sam Sargent, and Sargent finds James Brophy on the left-hand side. On the edge of the Leyton Orient penalty area is Dan Happy, and Brophy just about finds Sam Sargent with that back pass. Sargent did well under a little bit of pressure just outside the penalty area. Another excellent clearance from Sam Sargent. Finds Leanne Goal, got pushed out of that one by Akinola.
He's really working hard, isn't he, Leanne Goal?
He is. I've been really impressed with him pre-season.
Yeah, I think aside from his goals, sometimes it's easy just to look at the goals and highlight those. But I think from a work rate perspective, he's really putting himself about. He's working hard for his teammates, and again, he showed that just then, tracking back, winning the ball, and winning a free kick for the O's.
Coulson finds Judd, and Judd lays it back to Sam Sargent. Sargent
forward runs,
spins it towards the halfway line. Clay second to it on that occasion. Ashby, another one of the outfield players playing, it would seem, 90 minutes for the Hammers tonight, as Cisse picks up a loose ball and he finds James Dayton, who's got Judd to his right-hand side. It's just played a little bit behind Miles Judd. Judd with a back heel, it's a good one, that finds Connor Wilkinson. Wilkinson turns, gets past 2 West Ham United defenders, gets into the Hammers penalty area, goes for goal! goal, and Trott somehow pushes it over the bar.
Well, I think it was Heggie, wasn't it, the substitute goalkeeper,
Oh, my
Dave?
apologies, of course.
Well, I tell you what, I think he was a tad fortunate, you know, because Conor Wilkinson has absolutely rifled that. And it didn't look as though he got a clean pair of hands to it, Heggie, but he did enough to divert it over the bar. But I think he's been a tad lucky there.
So it's going to be James Dayton in front of Simon O'Connor, the club photographer, to take this corner kick for the O's in the southwest corner of the ground. And it's going to be James Dayton with the left foot, playing the ball towards the far post. Dan Happy got up, just couldn't make contact with the ball. Decent corner there, wasn't it?
Another one to the far post, wasn't it? But no one on the end of it, which is a shame. Coulson, Happy and Cisse all up for the corner. Wilkinson as well adds height in the box, doesn't he? But Orient unable to get on the end of that.
I was impressed with Leyton Orient set pieces, particularly Saturday at Northampton. And it's West Ham United that are coming forward now with Watson. And, again, it was hard work from the Leyton Orient side. They're working hard with and without the ball in this second period, which they're winning by 1-0, but overall they trail by 3-1 as the Cisse concedes a free kick. He just caught Grenadier on that occasion, and I think we've got about 3 minutes of the 90 remaining here, haven't we?
Yeah, Grenadier just got taken. It was like running into a brick wall there, wasn't it? I think Cisse just stood his ground and Grenadier just ran straight into him.
Cisse said, why is it a free kick, ref? I think he's got a point, doesn't he?
He ran into the man, didn't he? And that's the argument from Cisse. He's making a point. He doesn't have to move his position.
He certainly doesn't. This shouldn't be a free kick, but there we go, it is. It doesn't really matter, it's pre-season, Dave, calm down. It's West Ham United on the ball with Lewis, and it's the Hammers that are pressing forward on their right-hand side. Ball is threaded forward and it's intercepted well by Josh Coulson. Clay chasing together with James Brophy, and they're closing down on the West Ham United players in this second half, not giving the Hammers time on the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be easy to say that West Ham have made a significant amount of substitutions, which they have, and that's the reason. But I think it is down to the fact Orient are working harder out there, midfield in particular. And that has changed the game from what we saw in the first 45 minutes.
Cisse stretches, brings the ball under control. Dayton in a central position. Wilkinson to his right-hand side, and the pass is asking a lot of Conor Wilkinson. He did well to bring it under control and take it towards the byline. In the end, it was a touch too many. Goal kick to West Ham United.
Yeah, shame really, because there was an opportunity there. It was a great bit of vision from James Dayton, and Conor Wilkinson had made room for himself down the right-hand side, but he just overplayed the ball. You could see what he was trying to do, get to the byline and then cut it back across, but overplayed it, and the ball goes out for a goal kick.
Richard J. Bourne again.
Yep, making the comment Miles Joe has done well in pre-season. Be interesting to see whether he starts the campaign. Again, talking back to the point we made, it'd be interesting to see if Ross Embleton's any nearer to getting into a position where he knows what his starting 11's going to be.
Intercepts on the edge of the centre circle. Ahead of him is Craig Clay. Clay looking for Lee and goal, and it will run through to the Hammers substitute goalkeeper. Heggie rolls it underarm out to the left-hand side. It's now with Grenadier. It's back again to Grenadier, one of numerous substitutes that you'd expect at this stage of the season in the second half. I don't think it's going to be a better settled side this season coming up, though, with so many matches, so many midweek games. It's all about the squad, isn't it?
It will be. They'll be used, but there will obviously be players that will be playing the majority of the games, and it'll be interesting to see which those players will be. But so we'll wait and see. There's another game on Saturday.
Happy back to Sam Sargent. 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Gillingham in town. As Leanne Goal finds Clay. Clay to Wilkinson, back again to Clay. Lovely first time ball to Dayton. Dayton finds Engel, who couldn't find the back of the net.
Yeah, nice build up again from the O's. And well, it didn't connect, did he, Leanne Goal? It was more a scuff shot, really, but had all the build up. Clay involved, Wilkinson, Dayton. The ball found its way to Angol, 25 yards out. He hit it first time, which was the right thing to do. He took the shot on, he showed ambition, but just couldn't connect.
Ball is hit long. Dan Happy lets it bounce, and the header takes it out to the far side, and he makes sure it goes away for a throw. Good defending again by young Dan Happy.
Yeah, again, when you let that ball bounce, but he made absolutely sure he was going to get.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he covered himself well there.
Does he seem to have picked up a little bit more pace? He's certainly worked hard. He's worked out in this summer, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. To be honest with you, Dave, probably one that your coaching team would be better placed to answer. But it looks as though he's in decent shape, like the vast majority, if not all of his teammates, have been working hard.
That's gathered by Sam Sargent, and the drop kick from the edge of the penalty area is a good one. Lee Angol chasing wide on the right-hand side. Wilkinson in the central position. He's got Judd making the overlapping one, and it's Angol who gets in the cross that's been cleared away. And well, there were so many options then for the Leyton Orient. As the final whistle goes, the O's winning the second half. Lee Angol on target, but it was goals in the first half from Kemp, and then an own goal from Sam Ling after an excellent cross from Dan Kemp that did the damage. But it's not about the result, it's about the performance, and the second half was a good one.
It was, yeah, no doubt about that. I think Ross Embleton will be particularly pleased with the way the O's found a foothold in that game in the second half, and as you say, results-wise, won the second half, which is always a positive. He'll always look for positives, and that was certainly one of many in that second 45. But it was a good encounter. I enjoyed that game.
And two youngsters got proper first-team time under their belts.
Yeah, full credit to Anthony Papadopoulos and Brian Effiani. Good to see them get an opportunity this evening, and a stepping stone for them in what will hopefully be a long, positive career ahead at Leyton Orient Football Club. But yeah, I think both of them did pretty well given the quality of the opposition. Certainly didn't let themselves down, let their teammates down. I thought it was impressive to see them both in an orange shirt.
And in pre-season, Connor Wilkinson and Lee Angol continue to impress.
Yeah, Lee Angol in particular. Certainly when you look at the goal return, that's always positive, isn't it? You want to see strikers scoring goals, and Angol's done that. I think that's his fourth now for the O's in pre-season with another game to go. But aside from the goals, it's the work rate. Lee Angol has been working hard. Again, a physical presence for you, been putting himself about. And yeah, I think Ross Embleton will be very pleased with his efforts so far.
Good distribution from Sam Sargent in goal.
Yeah, he was hoping at the end Orient could get a second, because he would have claimed the assist. There was no doubt about it. It was an excellent piece of goalkeeping from Sam Sargent. He saw an opportunity down the right-hand side. It was an excellent kick to find his teammate on a counter-attack.
And the Hammers woodwork came to their rescue also in a busy second half that saw some flowing football from Leyton Orient.
Yeah, and that was the good thing, wasn't it? It just seemed as though there was a little bit more strength in that midfield in the second half with Cisse Clay in particular. I think Joby McAnuff and Josh Wright would be the first to say they had a pretty tough first 45 minutes there, and the energy, the tempo levels from West Ham was exceptional. The quality they showed was impressive. And they gave the O's a real test in the first 45, but it's how you respond, and the O's responded well in the second half.
Ross Embleton going through the match with the whole squad out on the pitch, and there's plenty to discuss and look back on as we prepare for the big kick-off at Oldham. Before then, we travel to Forest Green Rovers, and of course on Saturday it's Gillingham here for a 1 o'clock kickoff. My thanks to Matt Hiscock, my thanks to Barry Galvin, and my thanks to everybody for your texts and tweets from around the world. And thanks for listening, and we'll do it all again on Saturday.
Look forward to it. Cheers, Dave.
Take care. Thank you. Well done, Matt.
Cheers, Dave.
So a slightly more entertaining half here at the Borough Group Stadium against the West Ham under-23s. We ran out 3-1 losers in the end, but it was Lee Angol who managed to grab a consolation in the second half. Now, Jacob, the first half was full-blooded in that young West Ham side were pressing. Orient seemed to have a little bit more control in that second half, didn't they?
Yeah, I think Ross Embleton will be very pleased with that second half. A lot more fluid, a lot more movement around the park, and just a bit more talk and perhaps a bit more experience, and an all-round way more controlled performance with